All right, guys. Emmanuel, the local barber man. The family claim they don't know him like that. So this case is just strange. But anyway, guys, let me repeat this. Emmanuel that recently came out on the Don Lemon show to talk about. He knows the family. He gave Nolan his first haircut. He knows the parents. He went to school with Christine, which is Nolan's mother. They said they don't know him like that. So this case is strange. You feel me? This case is all the way twisted. But I'm just giving you guys the latest on what's going on. And I'm not going to be long today. But hello, Rachel. I'm not going to be long today. But I just want to give you guys kind of like because I didn't feel like doing a video today. I'm kind of under the weather, but I just didn't feel like doing a dedicated video. But just to give you the latest on what's going on, it's still an active investigation. Um, this case is set to go to the grand jury, as you guys know. I don't associate with people like that either, Rachel. It's not out of the ordinary. I stay to myself. I don't know none of my neighbors. Like when I lived in Virginia, I didn't know any of my neighbors and I didn't talk to them. So no, it's not out of the ordinary. And my mother didn't know my friends like that either. We stayed to ourselves. But I'm gonna tell you in the South, I can explain it. You're gonna have people that say they know you in the South, and they don't really know you like that. But it's just a Southern thing. Yeah, I know him. I know somebody of him, so I know the family. It's not out of the ordinary for people to talk like that. I'm not saying that he's totally lying. He probably did give him his first haircut, but are they really good? Are they tight knit friends like that? No. So you don't know him like that. That's not lying. Yeah, well, you do, but we don't. I don't get down like that. I don't like being at people's house and being in people's face. I don't trust people like that. I don't want to have a lot of associates and a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like I know who I know, and that's it. I'm like Drake. I don't need no new friends. Okay? So I don't be in my neighbor's house and all that stuff. I don't eat people cooking. I don't eat. I have to know you to eat your cooking. Okay? And some people don't wash their hand pots, and some people don't use washcloths. So that's just what I'm saying right there. So I don't eat everybody cooking, and I don't be in everybody's face, and I don't know everybody. That's not a bad thing. I was told to mind my business and stay to myself, yo. It's easier that way. You said I have a daughter to keep, and well, that's different. I'm not talking about that. Of course, you got to keep up on who your daughter hangs out with and who how she going over. But you don't know everybody in the neighborhood like that. So, oh, by the way, a lady got hung the other day in Jackson, Mississippi. They found her hanging from a tree. Y'all keep thinking that things is all sweet down there. Keep thinking it. I keep trying to tell y'all people going missing. Nobody believes me. I think if I had more views, you guys believe Candace Owens with her and her conspiracy theories. It's because she get a lot of views. When you get a lot of views, you're looked at as credible. But I live down south. I know that people are going missing. And I know what the vans look like. I know what they look like. I know what they look like. Let me tell you something. If your family member go missing, you'll never see him again. This is how this thing is working. I keep telling you don't get in Uber cars unless the driver match up. I tell people this, but nobody listen. That's why I'm like, whatever, man. I keep telling you that the new triple Ks exist. The KKK. They exist. Y'all act like they don't exist. Yes, they do exist. People say, oh, it's not like that no more. This is not like the early 1900s, 1800s. Okay. Keep believing that. Keep believing that. But if I had thousands and thousands, then I probably looked at as credible. But let your family members keep going missing, man. And then come to me later on and be like, well, how can I help at this point? First of all, I could even tell you, depending on what state they're in, depending on what road they're in, where they're at, I could tell you and who's responsible. I said these people are responsible for it. They have to kill a certain amount of people. They have to kill a certain amount of people. And that's how you get exalted. I want you got to go study history on the KKK to know how they operate. They're police officers. That's why stuff go unsolved, because they're in the same organization. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that no more, man. Nobody's really listening. And I keep telling people, man, you don't have that many friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be smiling in everybody's face. I got look, everybody keep talking about these guys that's getting threatened. The family is getting threatened. I got threatened this morning. I have the email. I mean, not the email. They sent me a inbox on Facebook, and this person is a real person. But the only thing we worried about is these other guys and their families getting threatened. Everybody's getting threatened that's talking about this. Okay? Everybody is. I got threatened this morning. This guy wrote the Gettysburg Address in my inbox. You'd have thought he was rewriting the Gettysburg Address. It had to have been at least 10 paragraphs, at least. He wrote a book report, man, on how I need to stop talking about this. I don't care about the threats. That I don't care about. See, me personally, I don't care about the threats, because I've been doing this for over 10 years. This is not the first time I've been threatened in 10 years covering these cases. I'm used to it. Some people are not going to like what you have to say, and they will threaten you. And just like that Barber, watch this. I bet you nobody going to believe this. If I had $1,000 to bet, I would win. You see the Barber, the guy Emmanuel that was on Don Lemon, I can tell you 100% for a fact he was sent. He was sent to do that interview, but nobody will believe me. You know, since we had the invention of smartphones, I don't know if I think since we had the invention of smartphones, people are getting dumber. That's what I think. That's what I think. If you can't see what this is, but then I can't say that because some people don't discern. Maybe I have a gift. Some people just can't discern like that, which don't make you stupid. It's just everybody's born with certain gifts. I think that's what it is. He was sent. You could tell he was lying. I could tell he was full of shit when he said it ain't we people ain't getting killed no more because they dating white women and having babies with them. When he said that, I knew he was sent. I knew he was sent. Who the hell would say something like that? We ain't doing the Emmett Till stuff no more. Yes, they are, but they don't report on it. There was okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask y'all a question and see if anybody will get it. I bet you people won't get it. Tell me how it's possible to have your hands bound behind your back. I'm talking about tight, so tight that it's breaking the skin, and you can hang yourself from a 20-foot tree. I mean, from a 50-foot tree. How is it possible? I'll wait. Somebody in here gonna think it's possible. No, it's not possible. That's an MO that Mississippi used to do back in the day. As a matter of fact, hold on one second. Hold on, I'm gonna show you a picture from the National Archives. Because some people think lynchings didn't exist. I didn't. Yo, where did y'all get? Where did people get educated from, man? You see this? You see that? That's in the National Archives. You see how the hands are bound in the back? What you mean this never happened? Y'all crazy? This was in my mother's generation. The hell y'all talking about, man? This was in the 50s. I'm one generation removed from that. What the hell y'all talking about? Acting like this shit don't exist no more. Y'all are crazy, man. If I said to you to point America out on a map, you probably couldn't do it, yo. So don't argue with me in my inbox. And people say, what do you mean I can't point America out? You will point directly to the United States. That's incorrect. That was in my mother's generation. We are not removed from it. It still happens to this day, but they don't report on it. So what you're gonna do is, if you don't believe me, I'm talking to somebody that inbox me, guys. I'm not talking to people that's listening. Because the person might be listening right now. So I'm just letting you guys know this is a side conversation from the person that said that he lives out there and this stuff don't happen no more and the KKK doesn't exist anymore. Yes, it does exist. Okay? It still exists. No, this is not common sense stuff because I had got an inbox and somebody said this doesn't exist anymore. People are going missing every single day. Every single day, people are going missing. But what they do is they gaslight. Oh, it was the person. It's suicide. How can it be suicide if somebody is bound from the back and their feet are bound and they hung from a 50-foot tree? How is that suicide? So I no, I'm talking to. This is a side conversation I'm having for somebody that inboxed me. I had to show them the picture. They said there was no such thing. I said these are in the National Archives. In Mississippi was they had at least 500 just alone. And also when the boxer Jack Johnson, every time he won a fight, somebody got hung. Every single time. Nothing. Let me tell y'all something. Do you think it's gotten better, or has it gotten worse? No, it's the same. It's never changed. It's just that the news don't report on it, um, like they supposed to. They don't. There's only certain cases like this that makes the media. Only certain cases make the media. If you notice, this particular situation is good for the media. I hate to say it because the media making money off of this because it has every element in it. It has suspense. It has race. It has everything in it. All the drama. They're gonna eat this. They're gonna have a movie made off this. Remember, I said it. They're gonna have like a mini documentary made. But the fact of the matter is, somebody's son is gone, and like I said, I wasn't there. We what do you call it? We This is just a matter of fact, right? Like I don't know how else to explain it. Um, what I do know is these investigations take time, but the thing is, she didn't say that. She said she's going to the grand jury to see if there's going to be arrest made. That's a bad sign. I don't think there's going to be no arrest made here. That's just my opinion on it. And I honestly think like some people. Now, here's the thing: it's not just the media. There's certain influencers that's trying to get people to crash out. I don't want you to crash out on this case because people are already crashing out. The threats that they're receiving is credible. I can tell by the way the people are writing it, it's credible threats. It's gangs out there that's doing it. These are gang members that's doing this now. They will crash out. And I don't think somebody should crash out over this. I don't think so. I don't think this is a case where you should crash out, but some people are going to crash out because this young generation, they're fearless. You have more of an opportunity for people to crash out now in the younger generation. The younger generation are the ones that be going to the mall and organizing those takeovers, right? Going into the malls and looting and stuff like that is all organized. They're fearless. They do stuff in broad daylight. Um, it's a lot worse now than when I was coming up. I thought it was worse in the 80s. No, it's worse now. They're fearless. they will crash out, and there's nothing we can do about it because they know the marching and all that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't. The founding fathers and the people that took this country, they didn't take this country by marching. They had a revolutionary war to get their independence from England. They took this country by violence. It is all connected, Rachel, but I'm not saying all this to get people paranoid, right? It's just a way of life. We know life is dangerous. Life is good too. Life is good, life is dangerous. You just have to just be aware. That's all. You can't really live your life in paranoia. But yeah, it is all connected. It is. It is. Oh, it is crackling. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. I just have to switch over. Give me 1 second to switch over in a second. Um, but yeah, what I was saying was the barber here. Give me 1 second. I'm just switching over. They said they don't know the barber like that. So this guy don't got on Don Lemon. Talk about how he know the family. Like I knew he didn't know the family like that. I could tell. I didn't go for it, to be honest with you guys. I didn't go for it. I didn't believe him. Christine, they don't hang out with that dude. She's like bougie acting. She wouldn't hang out with she don't know him. She don't. Hold on 1 second. I'm just switching over. One second. All right. All right, I'm back. Yeah. Um, yeah, but she said she didn't know him like that. And I believe him. He was sent. He was sent. They got some tricks out there. They pulling out all the tricks to make sure these people don't get locked up. I could tell he was lying. I had already made videos on him, calling him out. He don't know them like that, yo. He don't know them like that. He was I think he was at the funeral. I think he was. He don't have no reason to lie about that. But out in the South, people will say they know you and they don't really know you like that. That's a Southern thing. because in these small towns, everybody knows somebody that know you. And if they got some type of information on you, they will pass it off like it's the truth. That's a Southern thing. So that I know. He don't know them like that. And then people keep attacking the mother saying, well, who do she know? Listen, yo, your child didn't die. Her child died. So be quiet. I don't want nobody questioning her here or I'll block you. Be quiet. Because you wouldn't be in your right mind either if your child died. So everybody be quiet about it. Okay? Don't tell me how she should act, yo. How you act if your child died, yo? Show some fucking human respect, yo. I'm just talking in general right now. Imagine your child died. How would you feel? I'm asking. Anybody got kids here? How would you feel, yo? How would you feel? How would anybody in here feel if their child died, yo? Let me know. If your child went to an island and came back and everybody came back in one piece and your child in the river floating, how would you feel, yo? I think with social media, everything is in our face. Everybody lost their human side to them, yo. We're like robots now. Where's the compassion? How come we don't talk about the parents getting threatened? We only talk about the dudes getting threatened. We don't have no compassion no more, yo. And I can see it. She didn't do nothing wrong but lose her son, and it wasn't even her fault. But yet everybody keep attacking her. And the reason why people keep attacking her because you don't have compassion, because you don't identify with her. That's why. I keep trying to tell you these lynchings happen all the time. It's normal down there. It's normal. It happens so much, they starting to get sloppy with it. Now, I'm not saying this was a lynching. This actually what happened to her son. This wasn't that. This was a hater situation. Somebody crashed out on him. That's what happened here. This was a crash out. I believe he got jumped. That's what I believe. Because you notice none of them guys that were talking, none of them said rest in peace to him. And they keep saying that he was with that girl. None of them said rest in peace. That haven't occurred to you. Nobody gave their condolences to his mother. Those wasn't his friends. They weren't good friends like that. Yeah. They weren't good friends like that. But one thing for certain, they better have been lucky that weren't my son. They are lucky they weren't my son. Ain't no talking on my end. None. No talking. Wait, somebody got sent to the bushes. What happened? I don't know. I ain't seen nobody. Maybe Rachel and them did. You still getting the crackling and distortion? That was because I was on my phone. I dropped my phone one too many times. But the thing is, I'm telling you, man, um, they pulling out all the stops right now for nobody to face justice on this. You can't tell me he wasn't killed. You can't tell me that. And what did the barber say? Because he was sent. They was like, okay, so what did the friends think happened to him? He said they believe deep down in their heart that something happened to him. Okay, what? What do they believe? What's their thoughts? He couldn't say. And he said they don't want to talk no more because people are threatening them, because how people are treating them and they think they're lying. No, you're supposed to want justice for your friend. It don't matter what the outside world is thinking. That's how I know they weren't his friends. You better tell your kids to watch who they hang around, yo. You better tell them, or I could be talking about you next. So you need to tell your kids, yo, like you don't have a lot of friends in this lifetime. You don't. You don't have a lot of friends, especially if you got it going on. Especially if you have it going on, they have to move by themselves in this lifetime. That's how I stayed unscathed. Listen, I got you can't tell me nothing. I got through the 80s, 90s unscathed. You can't tell me nothing. I got through the 80s and 90s unscathed. Why? What did my mother used to say? Your friends don't mean you no good. And I believed her. You said maybe you would just bang when I could. Yeah. Well, I was just talking about, yeah, as soon as he said, well, the black people cleared them, I know there's a problem. I know behind the scenes that they're scared right now because they don't know if the feds are gonna come in or not. See, because the feds will just swoop down in the middle of the night and come get you. They don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But when he said that the black people cleared him, I knew it was some BS then. I knew it was. And I knew he didn't know the family like that. I know he wasn't close to the family. Let me tell you something. If I knew Christine and them like that, first of all, I'm not going on Don Lemon show. Number one, unless they want me to. And if I'm on there, I'm going to be talking about we need some damn justice over here. And I'm not going to be talking about, oh, the black people. See, he the one made it about race. Why did he say that his black friends was the one cleared him? Because he making it about race. And you know what else he said? We try our best not to step on each other's toes out here. He said the white people try their best not to step on black people's toes, and the black people try their best not to step on the white toes because they know the history. Why you got to do that? That means there's a problem. What you mean you got to try your best not to step on each other's toes? That means there's a problem. Okay. We don't want to offend nobody. We don't want to make it seem like it's racial because it is racial. That's why these people are taught this. They listen, they can have manners. They can have manners. They don't have to call you the N word. But when something like this happen, everybody gonna take a side though, for sure. They gonna take a side. And then look, the barber in one of his TikTok videos, he had somebody pull up to his barbershop. I guess he the local thug, right? He said ain't gonna be that with the family because I'm gonna get on some gangster shit. He said that. I said, I said, man, I can't make this up. He said, ain't nothing gonna happen to the family because we gonna get on some gangster shit. We can get on some what? Who talks like that? Listen, the real gangsters wear suits and they live in Washington, DC. Those are the real gangsters. They wear suits. Ain't no such thing as we get on some gangster stuff. There's no see, they've been watching movies too long. He must have got finished watching The Godfather. Yeah, he's looking all hard in the video. I can't make it up, guys. He looking all hard in the video. Like he gon' like he's the I guess he's supposed to be the street guy out there. Let me tell you guys something real quick. No disrespect for anybody that live in Mississippi. I don't want no parts of Mississippi. Y'all couldn't even keep Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. What did he say? I can't recruit. That's hard for me to recruit and get people to come there. He even got the hell out of there. Even though LSU got their issues too, but he still got out of Ole Miss. Y'all can have Mississippi. I know there's problems everywhere, but the best y'all can do is get the barber on. That's the best y'all could do, and think I'm gonna be okay with that. He said we don't have that out here no more because people sleep with white women, have babies with them, and y'all went for that. Let me just say this. Um, the difference between me and some of y'all, I'm talking about some of y'all on the other side. I don't think you guys all the same. You think we're all the same. That's where a lot of demographics have a problem. They think we're all the same. They think we're this homogenous group of people where we all think the same. That officer guy, he doesn't represent us. He doesn't represent me. Okay? He doesn't represent me because he has a problem too. Okay? He's a yassa bossing ass person too. I'm not like that. I don't have to yassa boss and show my teeth to people. God made me in his likeness and I'm enough because I have dignity and self-respect where I don't have to sit out here and yassa bossing and show my teeth to nobody. That's the difference between me and him. He hate himself. I don't. Which could be something deep rooted that he has from childhood. I bet you it's something from childhood. I didn't have that problem, thank God. Okay? And the reason why people watch him is because he reinforces what they really want to say. That's why they watch him. He doesn't say nothing educational whatsoever. He don't educate nobody whatsoever. He just um say stuff that the hateful people like to hear. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's and people like to watch him because they don't like us anyway. So if it makes them feel good for somebody to look like me to say it, that's why they watch him. But let me tell y'all something real quick because it's happening to Candace. You let him talk about the Jays. You let him talk about the Jays one time, and he's done. Because guess who? Guess who they canceled now? You remember that guy? What's his name? His name is Shirley or whatever the hell his name is. Something Shirley. Now they're canceling him because he said something about the Jays. See, he used to be conservative. They don't give a damn if you conservative, but you ain't gonna talk about them. You ain't gonna talk about them, or you have a problem. So you let that officer dude slip one time and talk about them and see once you won't see him no more. They're already giving Candace a problem. See, the guy from that the turning point guy that died. Why you think he had a beef? He didn't have no beef telling us how we supposed to live. Because people like when he was doing that. Oh, y'all need to do this, and y'all need to get back with your families, and fathers need to be in the house. He said that's what black people problem was. They were okay with that. Actually, they weren't okay with it. But as long as they weren't talking about them. But once he started investigating and saying he's getting into this and he know their secrets, gone, gone, gone. He's out of here. He's out of here. Don't think for a second that they like y'all in the South either, because they don't. You remember those signs back in the day that said Negro only and colored only? Who were the colored only for? For everybody else, including them. And they didn't like it. So y'all forever got to kiss the ring. Forever. You didn't know that? There was different signs. That was for everybody else. They never forgot it. And guess who owned the country now? They do. And guess, so y'all keep talking about Benjamin Crump, right? You better go look at her other lawyer and see what his last name is. I bet you she about to get some money, even though it's not going to bring her son back, but he going to see to it that she gets some type of justice. Okay? So just let you know. She got more than just one lawyer because she's smart. The reason why she brought Crump in is to make this national. That's why she did it. Even though she's in mourning, she's a very smart person. She brought him in to make it national, to bring attention to it, to bring awareness. Because let me tell you something, they had no idea that this case was going to leave Mississippi. As a matter of fact, they didn't have no idea that this case was going to leave Ocean Springs. This case is now national, worldwide. They didn't have no idea. They thought they could sweep it under the rug. And let me just tell you this, for the vloggers such as myself, we're never going to let this go. We're going to talk about this every single day. We're never going to let it go. Obviously, there's other stuff to talk about because I got to get to the girl that was found hanging in Jackson, Mississippi 2 days ago. She was found hanging. So I'm going to get to that. Just like let me explain something to you, like the what do you call it? The MAGA people, they were mad at Trump, right? It's like, yeah, he about to lead. They said, no, he's not. He cool with the Jays. He's staying right where he is. He's staying put. Ain't nothing y'all could do about it. Nothing. Okay? I tell you, they run everything. So just to let y'all know. Okay. But you know what I'm saying? It's a situation right where they don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, Nick Shirley. Yeah, he's covering the Moroccan immigration thing, but he said something that they didn't like, and they starting to try to cancel him now. I know Congo, Belgium, and Kenya all tapped in. Nancy Grace, and she's on it. Now, let me just say this. Let's get to the nitty gritty now. Everybody know that audio is legit now. See, that's why I'm glad Nancy Grace did it. Because people, you know how people are. They only think something is official when somebody white say it. So I'm glad she said it. Because I've been saying what was saying on the audio, but people are, oh, that's not what I heard. Listen, that ain't what Nancy Grace heard. Let me tell you something about Nancy Grace if you don't know. She's undefeated as a prosecutor. Do you know how talented you have to be and pay a close attention to detail to be undefeated as a prosecutor? She was undefeated. She never lost a case. Undefeated. She gets respect all over the world. Now, if she said that there's something with that audio, I hope y'all believe it now because y'all didn't believe me. There's something on that audio. Okay. You know what listen, I don't, they can sue all they want to. Let them go sue Nancy Grace because I bet you they won't go sue her because guess what? Now we're going to have to do some investigation now if you're going to sue. Now we got to get the evidence together. See, you said Nancy Grace, LOL, because you don't know, you don't, what's funny about what I just said? I said she was undefeated as a prosecutor. What's funny about that? That means you don't know. Just say you don't know. I ain't say nothing funny. I'm not laughing. What's funny about that? I'm sitting up here trying to like educate for young people that don't know. She's undefeated as a prosecutor. Do you know how talented you got to be undefeated as a prosecutor? There's not too many in the country. It's not too many. She's up there with the cold case prosecutor. You know who that is? You go look and see who the cold case prosecutor is out of California. Yeah, there might be an age gap, but you need to sit up here and learn when an OG is talking so you can learn something. So you won't be caught out there like that around these people. You need to know what sundown towns mean because they still exist. And sundown towns is everywhere, not just in the South. It actually look, it actually started in the North. Did you know that? It actually started in the North. There's a lot of sundown towns on where I live at. You need to know this. You need to know this. And it's not funny. But yes, she's the sundown, she is the cold case prosecutor. She's the undefeated prosecutor. And the reason why she became a prosecutor because her fiance got killed. That's why. She wasn't even going to get into law. But then her fiance got killed and then she went into law. But when she gets on a case like this and she feels something that ain't right, something's not right. And we all know now that the audio is what it is now. Even though she reinforced what the other lady did. She reinforced what she said. She wasn't trying to discredit that lady, just to let y'all know. The original lady that did the audio, she wasn't trying, she just wanted to let y'all know that what that lady did was legit. All I heard was damn it, Bart. I heard that. And I heard is he dead? Nolan, oh my God, is he dead? I heard that. They have a problem. Even the Yassa bossing ass dude, the barber, even he said it. He said if that's legit, somebody going to jail. Even he said that. Multiple people going to jail. If they do the right thing, multiple people should get arrested. At least 8 to 10 should be arrested. It's a conspiracy now because they should have did the right thing when he first died. If that audio is correct, multiple people getting arrested if they do the right thing. They better hope the feds don't get involved. They better hope not. You said you heard what was captioned on the screen for you to read. No, I heard I no, I didn't have to read a caption to hear damn it, Bart. Okay? I don't want you typing no more in here. All right, so you got one off. Todd, don't type no more in here. And then do as you told now. Don't type up in here no more and messing with grown folks when they talking. Okay? So I'm sorry you never got put in your place before, but I got to put you in your damn place. Don't sit up here and say I heard what I heard. I heard Nolan. Oh my God! You want to sit up here and keep talking? I just told you don't talk no more. Now I just told you that. All right. I just told you don't talk no more. So now I got to ban you. You don't play with grown folks when they talking. Just because your parents put you in timeout, when you come across a grown man, I'm gonna check you. Just because your parents put your ass in timeout, that's the problem. That's why we got a problem now because they put all these motherfuckers in timeout. They shouldn't have put y'all in timeout. Y'all the timeout generation. All right, cutie. They can't, but they can't mess with me, cutie. I am not to be messed with. People gonna get a good laugh out of me this morning. Because let me tell you something. If anybody need a good laugh, press one. Because I am your man today. I am your man. If you need a good laugh, if life is lifing for you, and you need a good laugh, I am your man today. Oh yes, please sit down and have a seat because you're gonna sit up here and get a laugh. Because I told Todd to stop typing. That's what I told Todd. Todd gonna sit up here, and I bet you he can't. Never mind, I ain't gonna say that. God, gotta watch my tongue. I almost said something. Thank you, God. Thank you for watching my tongue. This situation is not funny, but we need something. You know what I'm saying? We need something. Everybody's interested in the storyline anyway. And look, and you know what somebody told me? They sent me an inbox, Max, this is a distraction. No, it's not a distraction. We know what's going on about the immigration situation in Spain. Everybody knows about that. Everybody knows about it. Everybody knows what's going on in Iran. Everybody knows. But we chose to listen to this right here. We want to know what's going on with this. I will get into the young lady that was found hanging in Jackson, Mississippi, because I'm not sure the details on that. There's an active investigation going on. They haven't ruled out foul play. They said that there's an ongoing investigation. She was found in back of an abandoned house. So um
There's a couple scenarios here what have could have happened, but I'm gonna wait and see. If they sweep it under the rug, then I know what happened. Then I know. But if somebody that looked like her that was responsible for it, I just look at this. He don't came you don't came back. Look at him. He don't came back with another screen name. Look at him. See these type of people, they don't like to get checked. They don't like to get checked. I just told you with your trolling self to go somewhere now. And he don't came back with another screen. Well, you're gonna have to make another screen name because I'm on it today. What's up, Deb? So we'll know in a few days what happened with that case, but there's a lot of homicides in Jackson. It's dangerous. They got a lot of homicides in Jackson. So it could have been anything. That one could have been anything. But typically gang members and stuff like that, they don't hang people. I'm just telling you this. It's very rare. That's not their MO. Um, what happened here, I don't know if she had like a situation with somebody. We have to wait and see what happened with that, but I'm following that case. What year I was born? Well, the year I was born, put it this way, Earth, Wind, and Fire Reasons was number one on the charts. Not Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, it's a Earth, yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, Reasons by Earth, Wind, and Fire. It had made number one on the chart for like a couple weeks in a row. So that's how you can get the year. But spiritually, I am 30 years old. If you want to know my age. Listen, y'all gonna get a good laugh today. Deb, no. She in here for it. She in here for it today. Deb knows she gonna get a laugh up in here today. I'm on one today, Deb. I'm on one today. What's up, Steve? How you doing, Steve? But anyway, guys, the barber in Seville, Mr. Barber, Christine, I'm talking about, we don't know him like that. He the one said that he worked out at the gym with her husband, and you know that was a damn lie. He bigger than I am. Talking about he working out, they work out together. What type of working out he doing? Okay. What type of working out he doing? So you know he lying. He's saying that, yeah, they work out in the same gym together. Sir, you don't look like you work out nowhere but that plate. All right. So I was on to him already. Look at Lee sitting up there laughing. Listen, I do got jokes. He was not working out with that guy. That guy looked like he work out. Elmore, he looks like he work out, but the one right there, they don't go to the same gym. What gym he go to? Okay. So I was on to him. I was on to him. Now, do they know him? Like, have they seen him before? Of course they have. I believe so, for sure. But what they're saying is they're not close to him. They don't know him like that. When somebody say they don't know you like that, that means they do know of you, but you guys don't break bread together. Fast food, Jim Ryan. So that's what that means. What's up, Rob? Justin, he said, look, he like Max is on one. I know, Rob, I'm on one. But we need a laugh sometime. But no, do they know him? Of course they do. When somebody say they don't know you like that don't mean that they don't know you. But y'all don't break bread together. It's a difference. That's why some people have a hard time believing, how can somebody leave their car at your house and you don't really know them like that? That's true. That's Nolan friends. That's not their friends. Now, do Tristan, has he been over there? Of course he probably has. You know how kids are. They bring friends over and keep going. Yeah, that barber talking about they work out at the same gym. He is lying. He probably used to work out. We need some crazy times out here, Rob. It's not, did you hear about the water supply? I know y'all heard about that, so y'all listen in just to tune your mind out for a little bit. There's a lot going on. They're attacking the water supply right now. Hey, Melvin, good question. You know why? Oh, let me highlight Melvin. He's on Facebook. Guys, I'm streaming on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Melvin, if you want to come over to YouTube, there's my link in my profile on YouTube, Facebook, if you want to come over. He said, why have they not turned over Nolan's phone records? Because it's a part of the investigation. That we're not going to know about. That's the DA. That's for her eyes only. And also his mom, she has investigators working on it too. And sometimes those records, it takes a while to get those records from the to get the data from Apple and all that. I don't know if he had an iPhone, I'm not sure. It takes a while. But it's ongoing. And whatever she has, the jury is going to listen to it. But the grand jury, they probably listen to evidence now. We just don't know. I'm more than likely they are. The grand jury is probably listening to evidence now. And then when it's all said and done, they'll give their decision. But everything going, phone records. But the only thing is, I don't know if they did any searches on everybody else. I don't know. They're not telling us. But like I said, guys, it's important to point out that the family said they don't know him like that, because I believe he was sent. So I want to know who sent them. And when he said that Bart was cleared, because he didn't say that the cops cleared Bart. He said Bart's black friends cleared him. That's a problem. Because now you're trying to put it out. Look, none of us in here are stupid. None of us are. Okay? None of us in here are stupid. Let me watch this. Watch this. I can prove it. Watch this. Because we have a mature audience. I know I have a mature audience. I look at my analytics. I have a mature audience here. If anybody in here, if you haven't heard about the Iran situation, press 1. Nobody's going to press 1. Nobody. If anybody in here don't know about the Strait of Hormuz situation and what Trump did, press 1. Nobody's going to press 1. Nobody. And I'm giving y'all credit because I have a really mature audience here. I do. I looked at my analytics. Most of my audience is my age or older. Nobody here is unaware of, we all aware of everything. And I'm just saying it because I'm like, wow, I really do have a mature audience. I was looking at my analytics the other day. And that's what I wanted, but we need a laugh every now and then. But nobody is oblivious to this stuff. We all know. And we all know we have to be careful out here. I mean, we all know that they want us to crash out. We know how the media operates. We all know this. But this is something that we chose that we were interested in. That's all. I'm going to tell you something about Tatum, Melvin. I don't know if I should say this one. No, I'm not going to say it. But just put it this way. That interview that he did, that wasn't by accident. And I understand why they wanted to do the interview. But if I was them, I probably wouldn't have did the interview. I probably wouldn't have. Because they didn't need to do the interview. If they didn't do anything, you don't need to do the interview. So what are people thinking you did it? You let the investigation take its course and then you'll get cleared that way through process of elimination. But I do understand that these young men have grew up on the internet and they do listen to stuff like this and it does bother them. See, for us, people my age, we don't let the stuff on the internet bother us because we remember life without social media. They don't. So I get it. But yes, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. Now, it's not my fault Nancy Grace is wilding out because she is, and she's not going to stop. Everybody know Nancy's not going to stop. She's not going to stop here, and she's not afraid. Now, why did she jump on this case? Um, that's interesting. Why did she jump on the case? Well, she jumped on the Kohlberger case, Brian Kohlberger. She jumped on all the cases. She jumped on the Gabby Petito case because I was on that. She jumped on the Carmelo Anthony case. She's been doing a lot of high profile cases. She jumped on the Diddy case. That I know because some of her people they interviewed me. They didn't want to use me though. I was at the Diddy trial, by the way. Um, yeah, she's covering a lot of high profile cases. That's just her MO here lately. So it's not out of the ordinary that she's giving her opinion on this. But if she feels that something is not right, something is not right because she's undefeated as a prosecutor. So I give her that. Not a lot of people are undefeated like that. Um, she's she's keying in on the audio now because that's what I'm doing because that's a very important piece of evidence. Now, let me just say this to be fair. I don't know who did this. I don't know because I wasn't there. But the only thing I can go on is the audio. When he was calling the CETO people, there was something clearly going on in the background. Now, what was going on in the background? I don't know. Why did she say what she said? I don't know. It was a woman that said it. Nolan, oh my God. That was a woman, clearly. I don't know why she said Nolan, oh my God. Somebody said shut the F up 2 times. And then I heard damn it, Bart. Now, when I repeat those things, there's always going to be somebody coming to the comments say that's not what you heard. Yes, it is what I heard. You see, you can't even gaslight this one because everybody heard it, or mostly everybody. That you think the Cajun Navy has seen the writing on the wall and released a report? Well, here's the thing about they also released that photo that they received. Somebody sent them a photo and they released what they have. So there was 3 boats. Like what's it like Wyatt, not Wyatt. Warren said. Warren was correct. He said they went out there on 3 boats. That new photo that you see, that video, there's 3 boats together. So he was right about that. Did he have anything to do with it? More than likely he didn't. Because he the one talking. More than likely he's CYA as well. He's covering his ass. Do he know what happened? Possibly. I think he possibly know what happened. Do I think eventually, if they keep putting heat on this case, people are going to start telling on each other for sure. You said Jason Tatum ain't say nothing slick about Nancy Grace. He's not. He's not. You got to understand with Jason Tatum, he has a platform. He caters to a certain audience, and I'm not knocking his hustle, but I know his hustle. This guy with endorsements, you not just YouTube revenue. I'm talking about endorsements. He's making a lot of money. So he don't turn this thing into a business. So I get the business aspect of it. Now he did say he wants to know. He honestly, you know what he said? He probably shouldn't have said this. He shouldn't have said this. He said that he thinks something happened to Nolan. He wasn't supposed to say that. I know they were pissed when he said that. I'm like, wow, he said that? He said that. He said he thinks something happened to him, but he don't know who did it. He was supposed to say he drowned. That was it. But I think he slipped or whatever. I think he really meant. I think he really thinks something happened to Nolan, right? But he doesn't know. He said he doesn't know. We can't jump to conclusions on who did it. I'm not jumping to conclusions either because I don't know who did it. But in my opinion, he didn't drown. But that's just my opinion on it. And the thing is, I know how teenagers act when they get drunk. Even though there was a report that just came out that somebody noticed Nolan on the island, they said he was perfectly fine. He wasn't wilding out like that. He wasn't acting crazy. And also that makes sense because he had practice on that Monday. And he was trying to get himself together so he can play so he can move up to the Division 1 level. Okay. So he can move up to the Division 1 level and play the D1 football. And I believe Nolan had a cousin or somebody that played D1 football and went to the NFL. So he has it in his genes. Yeah, he said he got a couple messages on people that said they saw what happened, and he's turning those names over to the police. He shouldn't have said that on video, though. He should have kept that close to the vest and just turned the names in. No, not that Jason Tatum. You said Jason Tatum plays basketball. No, not him. Oh, the person said Jason Tatum. You mean Brandon Tatum? Now, no relation, though. You say even though they were all drunk, right? We don't know if they were all drunk. We didn't hear the toxicology report yet. And that toxicology report that was floating around was fake. He said he talked to Nolan around 2 or 3-ish and he was fine. It makes sense that he was fine because he had to go to practice that Monday. Now, do football players drink and stuff like that? Of course they do, and go to practice. But you're not going to be elite. And if you constantly have alcohol and smoke in your system, you're not going to be an elite player. I mean, actually, no, let me stop. There are some players that do that and they're elite. There are. There are. I'm just thinking of, Deion Sanders, because I follow him on my other page, Buffs Nations Daily, by the way. I'm getting ready to go over there again because we're getting in training camp now, leading up to the season. So that's where I'm going to be at. I follow the whole season over there. So follow me over there, Buffs Nations Daily, BUFFS Nation Daily. That's where I bail and dwell during the college football season. The reason why I follow Coach Prime, I've been following him since he was at Jackson State in Mississippi. Right. And he was one of the greatest two-sport athletes to do it. It was him and Bo Jackson, nobody else. Just him and Bo Jackson. So that's why I'm following him. I'm following a moment in time that, that he's actually in college football. I don't know how long it's going to be. Yeah, Shador, he might beat out Deshaun Watson right now. They probably going to play Deshaun because they're paying him a lot of money. But it's Deshaun's job to lose. If they start out the season 0-3, Shador got it. He's never gonna not sit on the bench again. It's never happening. He's a winner. He won at Jackson State. They won the SWAC twice when he was there. Where did Mississippi Community College or something like that, where Nolan playing? He was playing, and Nolan was in JUCO. He mentioned that Nancy Grace wanted to know did they take polygraphs. He said they didn't take a polygraph test. They took something else. But he was kind of stuttering when he said it, so I don't think they took anything. You said Bo Jackson once threw a rock and killed a hog. Man, that takes a lot of strength to do that. You say you only see Nolan with alcohol in the pictures and with the white boys. Um, I'm not saying he ain't drink alcohol. Though. He probably did. Yeah, stress test, the voice recognition, some BS, voice analysis. But he wasn't sure which test they took. But I mean, look, it's the 4th of July. There's people out there, being festive, and there's gonna be some drinking involved. A little beer here and there, stuff like that. A little bit of liquor. You know how teenagers do. A little bit of weed, little pills. You know how they do. Little coke. Somebody out there was treating their nose. You know how they be doing. I'm not saying that's what he was doing, but shit, you on an island like that, ain't no cameras out there, no cops. Oh Lord, that's the place to be, man. You say you don't understand the alcohol. Alcohol for me don't have nothing to do with it. I just want to know what happened to him. Yeah, I know they saying the maritime laws apply. That might come up in a wrongful death situation. I don't know if the FBI is going to get involved. I'm not sure. If they are involved, they're not telling us until the very last minute. Once they make arrests, then they might have a press conference. But even if he was doing all that stuff, so what? You're right. That don't mean anything. Well, I mean, what they gonna try to say? He wandered off. He was so messed up. He wandered off and drowned. No, there was too many people out there not to have seen it. Yeah, it's federal property. They could come in and try to take over if they can prove that that happened on their property, but they haven't said anything. I heard that they're monitoring the situation. Yeah, they're not leading the case, Ryan. So who knows what's really going on behind the scenes? But I know there might. I could only put myself in that situation. If I was on that boat and something happened to him and I was involved, I would be sweating right now. Because every time I cut on YouTube, somebody talking about it, I would definitely be sweating. And I remember when the Cajun Navy came out, the guy said he didn't expect his body to wash up in that spot like that. He was surprised. So now I'm thinking he was placed there because he wasn't waterlogged. That don't make sense to you, do it? How's the body not? I heard somebody say that. I don't know. Now we haven't heard the official autopsy. I heard the body wasn't waterlogged. Well, wait a minute. Wait. I thought you said he was in the ocean for 48 hours. What you mean it wasn't waterlogged? That means he was placed there. He could have been on somebody's boat decaying, and then they put him out there. You never thought about that? He could have been placed there because his body was in the perfect spot too. His legs were still in the water, and his body was on the sand, and it was perfect. It was in a perfect position. Perfect. Now, can nature do that? Possibly. Possibly. It's almost like somebody placed him there. Now, here's the question. When they looked at the body, did they check for shoe prints? They should have checked for feet prints around that body to see if somebody placed them there. Because when I zoomed in, it looked like prints that was around the body. Now I don't know if it was the investigators that did it. I'm not sure. Because you can tell that they were looking for it because where the body was, there was nobody close to the body, but they were all there looking at it. So I know they were looking for prints. That's what they probably was looking for. Because nobody actually went over to them yet when they were looking. So we don't know. We don't know what it's a mystery. The only way we're really going to find out what happened unless somebody's a good Samaritan and come out and say, look, this is what happened. Now, the girl that's in question that they call Katie, only thing I can tell you is this. Go look at her pictures that she posted. Go look. She's starting to, it's like she's telling through her pictures. Go look at what boat she was on in one of them pictures. Go look. And one of the guys that was next to her, pay attention to his shorts and go to some other photos, see if you see the same guy. Yeah, he knows how the water works and stuff. He said the way the body, they weren't expecting to find the body there like that. They searched that same area the next morning on the 5th, and no body was there, right? Somebody could have came back later that night and put the body there. Because the person, watch this. Did you know the person that found the body first is unknown? They're holding his name. Now, there's a couple reasons why they're holding the name. They're not letting us know. They saying it's an unidentified park ranger that found him. The reason why they're saying unidentified is for investigation, maybe to protect his identity, because they're going for a conviction here. You could think about it like that too. Because yeah, but there's other law enforcement that know who found him. So he's not unidentified. Somebody, they all know who it was that came up on him. It wasn't the Cajun Navy. They came up on the body from the air. They saw the body from the air. They didn't see it on the ground. They heard about it. And they saw where the law enforcement presence started gathering. They saw the body then. But the body washed up where he was last seen, not too far from where they made the sea tow call. Remember where they made the sea tow call and they gave the coordinates? It's right near the body, right near there, right near the body. Isn't that something? Right where they gave the coordinates. Because if you type those coordinates on Google Earth, it's going to put you right near where they found the body. Now, somebody was telling me, well, it's automatically going to put you at Horn Island. That is true, but they gave specific coordinates. Like if I'm on the opposite side of Horn Island, the numbers are not going to be the same. I think everybody knows this. It's not going to be the same latitude and longitude if I'm on the other side or I'm in the middle of Horn Island. It's not going to be the same. Yeah, it'll still put you on Horn Island, but we're not going to get the same numbers. He gave specific numbers, and the numbers he gave is where they found the body at. That's unusual. I could see if the body was found somewhere else on Horn Island, like because the island is what 12 to 15 miles long. Okay. But the coordinates they gave was near the body, where the body washed up at. When I say washed up, I put them in air quotes. I say washed up in air quotes because I'm not sure if the body was even washed up. But I'm gonna tell you something. They may be doing a thorough investigation, because if you look at the picture, the investigators were not near the body. They were zoomed in on their cameras, and they were taking photos. And one guy he was bent down. He was on his knees, and he had them one of them long zoom cameras. You can tell he was probably taking pictures to see if there's any prints there. That's probably what he was doing. He's a forensics guy. This case here, guys, this case here will potentially, for the people that's investigating, it can promote them. This is a promotion case if they can solve this case. This is a case that will promote you. Now, your privilege not necessarily is going to save you, because remember, we followed the case of Alec Murdaugh out of South Carolina. He was privileged. He's a lawyer. He still had to go on trial. His privilege didn't save him. So it just depends on I don't know. It just depends. But I think they are doing, because it looked like they were being thorough. They were not standing over the body. They were not. They were probably like at least 20 feet back, even further than that. And I bet you they were looking for prints to see if anybody washed him. Somebody placed him there. Because if somebody placed him there, watch this. They got prints. There was prints that was left. It looked like there were from that picture. Let me look at the picture real quick. And let me tell you how I got the picture. When Don Lemon was live, right? They had an aerial photo, and he said, well, this is where, he said, I can tell on that picture where the body. That's like, Don, you shouldn't have said that, because I could see where it's at. So then I just like kind of sharpened the photo up and zoomed in on it, and I could see where he was placed, or where he washed up at. Let me zoom in real quick and let me see. And his leg, if you think I'm lying, his left leg is bent. It's almost like he's asleep. His feet are still in the water, and his body is on the sand where the water meets the sand. And he's face down. Let me see. Is there prints there? And you know why I think he could have been played? Because whoever, if let's say if he was placed there by boat, they're not going to find prints. You know why? It's right where the boat, because you know where where the water meets the sand, right? Well, you can put your boat real close there. All you gotta do is just drop them off right there, and you're not gonna have any prints. I don't see no prints. So it's easy for somebody to just scoop their boat up and then drop them off. Because how he was washed up, his feet are still in the water, and the rest of his body is on the wet sand. Yep. Yep, he's face down. Interesting. Yeah, and like when they looked at the aerial photo when Don Lemon was talking to the Cajun guy, I don't know if they realized that all somebody had to do is sharpen up that photo, because they didn't even use a Gaussian blur. They didn't. What they did is they use a zoomed in blur. They use a zoomed out blur. That's what they use. They didn't use a Gaussian blur. So all they had to do was sharpen the image up, and you'll see it. It's kind of messed up because people are not supposed to see that. Yeah, if you go look at her photos, you're gonna see something. I don't want to say it because people are quick to try to get flag you and stuff. But if you go see her photos, She put him out for a reason. I know she did. Because I'm gonna just tell them this: looking on the outside in, y'all knew that girl like that. Looking on the outside in, but I don't want to make stuff up. I don't want to keep like there's a lot of people doing it. I don't have to do that, but yeah, right where he was placed at, you can easily bring your boat up there and just drop him off so there won't be no prints, and then get back on the boat and back. When on the boat, you got to back out and then go. You would have had to do it at night though, and you would have had to have some type of pull because the Coast Guard is around. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that, but it's unusual though. And from the photo, I can't tell if he's bloated or not. I can't tell. I can't see him wandering off by himself either. And I don't even know him like that. But it seemed like he was very social. Horn Island tides called a washing machine. Yeah, it's dangerous. But that I guess they're trying to say that's how it happened. Like he just got washed off. There's a possibility that he can just get washed off, but I don't think that happened in this case. The only reason why I don't think that happened in this case because of the audio. She said, "Damn, is he dead?" Because if he, let's say, if he got washed off and they said, "Oh my God, is he dead?" All you got to do is call the police and say he drowned. Nobody did that. That's why that's not the case. They can't sit up here and tell me that ain't legit. So I would go with that narrative that he just upped and drowned. But if my friend just upped and drowned, I'm not gonna just deactivate my social medias. You get it? I'm not doing that. I'm like, guys, he drowned. I wish we could have saved him. You know what I'm saying? But I can't swim good enough to get in them currents to go get him. Okay, so he drowned. But that's not good enough for me to deactivate my social media. That means I'm trying to hide something. Like I said, I was born during the day, but not yesterday. So they can't fool me. See, these young people think everything has been done already. I don't study the Son of Sam case. I don't study Jeffrey Dahmer. I don't study Helter Skelter. I don't I studied the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. Who else? I mean, everything's been done already. Nothing's new under the sun. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. Somebody. I remember one time was a case where they said somebody drowned on a remote island, and it was a serial killer that did it. So nothing's new under the sun. That's why they can't fool me. See, young people think when they do stuff for the first time that it's the first time. No, it's been done already. That's why this is an easy case. If it was an unfortunate accident that happened, they should have just called the police, man. Hey, man, it was an unfortunate accident. You know what I'm saying? We were beefing. He got hit the wrong way. Call the ambulance. They would have medevaced him. If I'm a betting man, if I had to say, Max, you got to pick one. You can walk away now with $1 million, or go with the fact that he was dumped in the water for 10 million. I'm going with 10 million. I'm taking my chances. I'm going with 10 million, yo. He was dumped, in my opinion. He was dumped. It was an unfortunate situation happened, I believe. They got the beefing. He got hit the wrong way and died. Dumped him. Now I can't sit up there and speculate on whether they were dragging the body or not in the call because somebody was doing that. Like I hear dragging. I didn't. I heard it. I heard a dragging sound, but I can't say that was him, and I don't know who did it. And I did hear "Damn it, Bart." I heard that too, but I don't know why the guy would say "Damn it, Bart." Maybe he hooked the boat. I don't know what the hell. Now, if I'm looking, just I want to let them know, just because if one day they have to defend themselves, just to let you know, looking on the outside in, it looks like the call you made was a alibi. I'm just letting you know, like I'm not stupid. That's what it looked like. You know why it looks like that? Because when the lady called, the guy said, "Oh, I already talked to the grandfather already. They don't need to be told." Well, why did he say he needed to be told? He said the boat was sinking. He the one on the boat. The grandfather not on the boat. Why are you saying that he don't need to be told because you talked to grandfather? Listen, man, y'all need to get y'all shit together because it don't look right. And y'all better hope the feds don't come in because if the feds come in, they already thought this already. I'm just letting you know that. The feds have some of the best minds on the planet. They can solve cases like nobody's business. They are the elite. They have the elite minds working on this. And if they want to come in, they already thought everything that I'm telling you already. They've already if they listen, they probably like, yeah, we thought that already, Max. We good. We thought that already. And another thing is, you better hope that the family was bluffing when they said that they hired a forensic guy to come and look at the audio. You better hope they're bluffing. And let me tell you something else that you probably missed. You remember the press conference? Everybody kept zeroing in on Crump, but get in Sharpton. But guess what? Her other lawyer, what did he say? He said, I'm comparing notes with the DA. We're gonna have a meeting and we're gonna compare notes again. She's gonna give me what she has, I'm gonna give her what I have. He said that. And why do you think she's working with him? Well, go back and look at his last name. Go look. Go see what his last name is. You might say, well, Max, what his last name got? Because the J's don't take no shorts from nobody. Okay? They don't take no shorts from nobody. He has a client now. His client is the parents. He gonna make sure they get paid. You understand? That's why I said that. And go look at his face when he said it. Go look at his face. He meant business. They're in trouble. Somebody in trouble. That's only there I can tell you. See, the parents, they had the presence of mind to call Crump. Now, here's the thing. People say, well, no, they sent that guy to discredit Crump because they got to send one of us to discredit him. But he's not educated enough or have any or done enough in his life to badmouth Crump. He hasn't. So for him to say that Crump shouldn't have did this, Crump shouldn't have did that, please God, shut up. Okay. The guy he's making it seem like the guy is too Crump. I'm trying to figure out how did he get accepted into Florida, the Florida State Law School if he's stupid. You know how hard it is to get in there? He went to Florida State. He's a Seminole. He went for his bachelor's and his JD. He's not stupid. The reason why, and he said that the parents reached out to him. Okay, so here's the play. Let me give you the play. We have to reach out to him to make this national, to bring some attention to it, because he has the ability to do that. So what she wanted to do was she wanted to get this case out of Mississippi. You get it? Even though she mourning her son, she still had the presence of known to get busy. She said, y'all not doing this. So look, boom. So she got the case out of Mississippi now. That's Crump job. Now, what else did she do? She hired a team of lawyers. But what you got to do is you got to go look at their last names. She knew what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. They say, we got you. And then Crump, his job, he got Kaepernick involved, and he also got Byron Allen involved. Now, when Byron Allen got involved, I know somebody in trouble now. He got all kind of connections. He's a billionaire. And he gave $100,000, okay, to get, because you need, why does she need $100,000? Okay, you can't just hire any private eye. You have to hire private eyes that are former FBI. Why? Because they still have connections. I bet you that's who they hired. Bet you they did. That's why this case jumped out of Mississippi. That's why we say that. Well, damn, the case jumped out of Mississippi. That was the best thing the family could have did, was get this case out of Mississippi so everybody could see it. And that's Crump's job. That's how he did it. So now the local authorities, even if they do mess this case up, it's gonna stink publicly. It's gonna stink bad. Yep, it's gonna stink bad. So that's the deal, folks. That is the deal. So she did a really good, the parents did a really, really good job, bro. They did a really good job as quickly as they did. So here's what they probably did. They got the shock that their son passed away. They immediately had a meeting. She cried and stuff, and she immediately said, "Listen, we gotta. They're gonna swipe this under the rug. We gotta get busy." And that's what they did. I don't know if her husband has some type of affiliation. I don't know if he's a Q, because the reason why I say that, because he was at their meeting. I don't know if he's a brother. He's a brother. It's easy for him to get in touch with Crump, but I'm not sure of his affiliation. But they got busy quickly. They got busy so quickly that Mississippi didn't know what hit them. Because as soon as Crump came in, boom, now it's getting out of Mississippi. And then he said, we're doing our independent autopsy. And then Byron Allen got involved. Yeah, bro. Yeah, they did a really good job. And then what else did they say? We're not taking nobody's word for it. We want to know what happened to our son, and we're going to do our own investigation. That was what they were supposed to do. They didn't accuse nobody. See, that's when the other side, they had to bring somebody in that looked like me to smooth things over. So then boom, they brought in Officer, what's his name? Now he came in there immediately making up shit. Oh, they said he was on a remote island with just him and his friends. That's not what they said. They never said that. Never said that. But see, they got somebody to take care of him, because I said they got one of the J's on their side. So one of the J's will just go take care of his ass real quick. Okay. And I bet you, look, watch this. He keep talking about Crump, right? But how come he ain't talking about her other lawyer? Because he'll get canceled if he do. Go talk about him if you want to, and see, won't your ass get canceled? See, he ain't doing that. They'll call him anti-Semitic in a goddamn second. Let him talk about her other lawyer if he want to, and see what happened to his ass. He'll get humbled real quick. Boy, his mother, man, she is super smart, yo. His parents are smart as fuck, yo. I'm just telling you all this. They're very strategic. And here's another thing that they're not doing. What is the good officer doing? He's trying to bait them. He said, well, how come they don't talk to him? How come Crump? They don't need to talk to you. And here's another trick that they tried. Well, the Cajun thing, they tried to go have some cadaver sniffing dogs to go sniff the boat. That Crump can't authorize that. That's out of his jurisdiction. He cannot authorize that. He's their attorney. He's not there for the criminal side. He's a civil attorney. He cannot authorize a dog to go sniff them boats, because if he did, they would have said he tampered with evidence, or whatever, the case would have been over. These people are smart, yo. Super smart. Super smart. They try to do all they can to derail everything, and it didn't happen. So there you go. See, they think we're not smart. I guess they think so. Some people so stupid, they think that nobody said that. Listen, His parents is smart, yo. Straight up. They said, look, we not saying anything that happened to our son. We want a thorough investigation to find out what happened. They didn't blame nobody. They didn't say his friends killed him. They didn't say none of that. He the one came in and said, you made us feel like he was on a secluded island. No, we listen, I don't even have to be from Mississippi to know that that's a popular spot on the 4th of July. Even I knew that. And I ain't even lived there. So if I knew that, how come he didn't know that? He did know that, but he just coming in to try to do a smoke screen. Everybody know that's a popular spot on the 4th of July and there's going to be thousands of people there. Everybody knew that. You don't have to live there to know that. Everybody know that's where they go on the 4th of July. No, he was not on no secluded island with just him and his friends and nobody else were there. Nobody thought that. He came in and said that he was making up shit. But let me tell you this, he can keep talking about Crump all he want to. Go talk about her other lawyer that showed up at the press conference. I bet you any amount of money, officer would not talk about that guy. He'll be canceled in a second. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. So why don't he talk about him? He won't do it. He's the one that's going to be handling this. He's the one. His law office. Crump was there to set everything up. He's there to make everything public. He's there to do different things, right? He did his job, but look at her other lawyer. Go look. And what else did she do? She had to set up his estate so she can be the executive of his estate so that she can do different things, not just for money, so that she can open up an investigation if she do a wrongful death situation. That means they can dig deeper. They can subpoena phone records and everything. Okay? They were very strategic. That's why they always say to you, right? Get your education because that's something they can never take from you. Not that you have an education because you learn how to think critically. That's the best thing you can ever do is learn how to think critically. Nobody could ever buffalo you around in your life, ever. I don't give a fuck what they look like. And that's what you see here. That's why they're trying to smoke screen. Oh, we're getting death threat, this and that. We're getting death threat. The family is getting death threats too. Nobody talking about it. Okay? Nobody's talking about it. Which they trying to take the heat off that damn phone call. No, let's keep the main thing the main thing. I want to know about that phone call. I want to know why I heard damn it Bart. I want to know why here is he dead? Oh my God, Nolan. That's what I want to hear. I want to know that. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. Because if the main thing become the real main thing and turn out to be legit, everybody getting arrested. Everybody. Okay? And once everybody get arrested, somebody gonna start snitching. If they ain't already doing it already, because what did the good barber say? The barber of Seville. What did he say? What did the vaudeville act say? Huh? What did he say? He said, well, there was already names given up. He's smoke screening. He's smoke screening. What you mean names were given up already? How you know? He don't know shit. He's the vaudeville act. See, they think we're so stupid that they couldn't get me. They sent a vaudeville act. Somebody on the Chitlin circuit. That's who they sent. Okay? They sent a step and fetch it. In 2026, that's all you can do is send a step and fetch it? Oh Lord. Oh, I'm gonna give them this talk until they tired. See, I can talk like this because I'm not violating any rules or breaking any rules. I'm just sitting up here getting them a talking to. Okay. They don't try to do it already to me. I have a right to state my opinion. I have a right to say something stinks. I didn't say who did it, but I want to know about the phone call. I'm like Nancy Grace. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. What's up with that phone call? Okay. Let me tell you what a friend of mine said. You know what she said? She was like, "No, I ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna keep the main thing the main thing." You said the grandfather has connections with them. He allegedly he could. It's the good old boy system. Now, the good old boy system can work for anybody. It just depends on who you cool with. I remember Dante Stallworth. I'll never forget this. Dante Stallworth was cool with somebody in the good old boy system in Florida. Okay, he had an accident and it resulted in somebody losing their life. Dante Stallworth. He ain't get no jail time. Nothing. 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 I said his lawyer, he either had to be the best lawyer on the planet or he was connected. So it don't matter what it is, it just depends on who you know. All about who you know. But in this situation, it's all about who they know too, who the family know. I just said Byron Allen donated $100,000. See, that's the good officer. I call him the good officer. The good officer, he ain't mentioned Byron Allen, did he? Who did he mention? He mentioned Al Sharpton. He mentioned Attorney Crump. And he did mention Tyler Perry. How come he didn't mention Byron Allen? He better not play with that man name like that, as powerful he is. I just told people the 1% comprise of everybody. No matter it comprises of all colors of people, all crayon colors. See, we think that the 1%, we think of the 1%, we think of the Koch brothers, and we think of like everybody else. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. I told you when this country was set up, before the Revolutionary War, when they came over here, Christopher Columbus sitting up there lying and embellishing his damn story so he can get more favor with the king and get more credit. Well, when they came over and took this country and all that, who helped them? It was somebody that looked like me. They had people that looked just like me that was with them to help set this shit up. Go look. Go look at the presidents before Washington and see what they look like. One of them looked like Ryan Leslie. Anytime big decisions was made in history, they were always there. Even when Europe was taken out of the Dark Ages, who took them out the Dark Ages? Somebody did. They just telling the history. They just tell it how they want you to hear it. The 1% comprise of a lot of people in this country. You don't know who they are though. Byron is one of them though. I know for a fact he's one of them. He had a lot of connections in his life. If you look at how he got his start, he was a comedian. And I don't want to get into his history, but when I saw him donate that $100,000, yeah, I knew it was on then. This thing is definitely gonna heat up. Definitely is. But sometime I wonder though, like how come some cases make national prominence and others don't? Just like that young lady that just was found hanging 2 days ago, that should make national attention as well. But somehow though, I don't think that case is because of the way she was found. That'll if we start getting into that, that'll cause people to crash out. So I don't think they want people to crash out just yet. That's just my theory on it. Yeah, found hanging in Jackson. Just look up Jackson, Mississippi, woman found hanging, abandoned building. It happened 2 days ago. You said the grandfather. Okay, you talking about the yeah. On the night of the 4th. That could have happened. Warren should have just not gave no interview. I don't know what his problem was. No, his arms were not straight out. You could see the back of his arms. His arms was like to his side. I don't know. You guys have to tell me because I don't know. I don't have any knowledge on how the ocean washes a body up. I don't know. Is it possible that a body can be washed up like that? Anybody know? I don't know. You said you would think the body would be sideways along the shoreline. Mm-mm. His body was, his head was facing. Let me see. How can I give you the perspective? His head was facing. Just imagine you swimming out of the ocean. That's how he was. Say you walking away from the ocean. His body was like that. His head was faced towards the island, but it was in a perfectly straight line, except for his leg was bent. It was like he was sleeping. And I heard that according to I think the Cajun Navy guy said that his body didn't look like it was waterlogged. What does that mean? Was he placed there? What you mean his body wasn't waterlogged? He was in the water for over 48 hours. So only thing I can think of, if he was sitting on somebody's boat, they were concealing him. But the problem is he was deteriorating, and then they had to put him out there. That's the only other thing I can think of. But anyway, hopefully they get some answers for his family. Um, that's the only thing I can think of because sometimes these cases go unsolved. But hopefully something happens, but we don't know. We don't know the details of it. To be honest with you, even with I don't know the details of nothing, even with the call. Do I believe he was on the boat during the call, in my opinion? Yes, I do. Do I believe somebody set out to kill him that day? No. Do I believe it was racially motivated? No. Nope. Things happen sometime, man. With teenagers drinking and stuff, things happen. Do I know who did it? No. But was this a racially motivated? No, it was not. Because he knew them kids for a very long time. They knew each other for a very long time. But that don't mean you get to fighting. I don't fought some of my friends before. And what happened? We were drinking. That's how we started fighting. We couldn't handle that damn Hennessy. And we started fighting in Giant Stadium, fighting. Now you might say, why ain't you there to watch the game? Yeah. Me and him locked up on each other in the bathroom. He attacked me. And I grabbed his throat. He grabbed mine. We're on each other's throat. Okay. And the next day we laughing about like how the hell we started fighting. And then he was like, bro, do you know how I like damaged my hand? Because he had to go to the emergency room the next day. He said, bro, what happened to my hand? Did you stomp on my hand? I said, no, you broke the glass. You punched it. You started yelling like you were Hulk Hogan and you hit the glass and broke it. And then we told you to calm down because the police was coming, the security. And he said, well, how come my hand were? I said, because you was on that libation. You had that liquid courage. So it can happen. And this wasn't the first time he got to me because once I had my back turned, next thing you know, I'm in a chokehold. And the next day we don't know how it happened again. So things can happen. I'm just telling you, it's happened to me. So we don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. You know, if it do come out, everybody not going to jail for this. Somebody gonna start talking. But best believe that. Best believe that, because if I'm sitting here, got a football career, this and that, I'm not gonna sit up here and go to jail for nobody and they sitting up there acting a fool. No, nope, no, sir. No, sir. Am I going to jail? No, I'm not. I would have been. They lucky I wasn't there. I would have been got my Lionel Richie on. I would have sat down. I would have called first. May I talk to you guys? They're like, what do you want to talk about? I have some information that I would like to relay to you, please. And I don't need no attorney present. I'm here to tell you what happened. And best believe I would have had video footage because I am not getting off that boat without my damn phone. You know how they say, well, it's customary to keep the phone on the boat. No, I'm bringing what you call a dry bag. Yes, I'm taking my phone with me. I'm going to be out there with no phone? No. I'm like, they sat up there acting a fool and things got out of hand. And that's what happened. I would have been told on them. Period. I would have been told on them. I'm not going to sit up here and sit up in the mountains for 25 years for them. No, they getting told on. And best believe them women going to tell on them because there was women out there. They going to tell on them if they haven't started telling already, guys. Guys, check this out. You ever thought about this? They probably told already, but they doing a slow roll. You know what a slow roll is? They slow rolling it, making them think nothing's wrong. Go ahead and keep doing your interviews. Go ahead. How long, if anybody remember, how long did it take for them to arrest David or D4vid or whatever his name is, D4VD? It took them a long time to arrest him. Like, when is they gonna arrest this dude? They take their time. It ain't no rush. You said they picked the road of remembrance to hang. I don't know what that means, stack for fact. What is the road of remembrance? What does that mean? You said they picked the road of remembrance. Damn, what is that? Oh, that's the street they found her on? The road of remembrance. Lord have mercy. I ain't got listen, Mississippi, I respect y'all. I ain't going out there. If somebody said, well, if there's a case, are you gonna come out there? No, I'm not going out there to file no case. Next thing you know, I ain't nowhere to be seen no more. As much smack I've been talking. They can't wait for my ass to come out there. Oh, we got something for you, Mr. Max, Mr. Want to sit up here and keep talking. We got something for you. Y'all won't never hear, well, what happened to Max? I thought you were going out there. Man, they'd be finding me in back of a tree somewhere. I'm not messing with them. I know I'm cutting in and out because I'm being too real. That's why it's time to go because I'm cutting in and out. That's how they do it, Carla. They cut in and out on me. You said, hold on. Didn't think about that, a dry bag. The only reason why I knew about a dry bag because a friend of mine has a yacht. He got one of them joints you could sleep in. That's how big his is. And he was telling me, yeah, you just bring a dry bag. If you're on a jet ski, he said that you got pockets. He said, well, either your vest had pockets for your phone or you can get a dry bag just in case you fall in. He has a jet ski tied to his boat. I'm like, damn, bro. They retired and bought a straight yacht. Yo, they got a Tom Brady looking yacht. Like one of them little yachts. I think they paid millions for that. The yacht is at least about 3 million, at least. That's how big it is. You said Max been rocking with you since Chris Unbiased. How you doing, Carla? Anyway, how you been doing? Haven't seen you in a while, Carla Hernandez. Deb, what you up to? But we've been following cases for a while. And we will say this: if somebody get arrested, they're innocent until proven guilty. Okay, we will say that over here because you have to. What is it in a criminal case? Beyond reasonable doubt, correct? So that's why they have to. It's one thing to think somebody did it, but you need to have something to prove it. You got to prove this case beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, but you know what can beat that is somebody sit up there and start talking. You said maybe he took some of them DMX drugs. Well, here's the thing. I thought about that. What happened if he? Why you had to say DMX drugs? But let's say if he took drugs and you talking about had an OD. Well, all he had to do was call the police and say that he passed out, and they don't know what happened. You can deny giving him drugs. That's a easy. I would, man. I'm like, okay, just call the police and get a medevac. He could have got medevac to the mainland. They would have sent a helicopter, and all you had to do is say you don't know what happened. But no, if they panic, if you thinking he OD'd and they panicked and left him there, that's a crime. That's a crime. You don't have to do all of that. All you had to do is call the police and say we have a medical situation, get a medevac. Now, what like I said, was there drugs going on out there? Probably so. Was he doing? I don't know, but we didn't get the toxicology yet. But that's not what I'm worried about. Everybody went home safely, but him. Now, if it's a situation, if it comes out, okay, we left him there because we were all doing what we, doing some drugs and this and that, and he got caught up and we panicked. Well, I still think somebody needs some time over that because you're not supposed to leave them. Not supposed to leave them. But hey, man. Anyway, it's beyond reasonable doubt. You have to prove that they did it or whoever did it. You got to prove it. So innocent until proven guilty. That's just the way we're gonna roll over here. The innocent to proven guilty. We will follow the case if somebody get arrested. If not, if nobody get arrested, then we just have to report on it. Nobody got arrested. But we have to wait and see. They said they're going to the grand jury. So we'll see. Well, in Mississippi, what I learned, all cases go to the grand jury. That's not by natural causes. If you die by natural causes, obviously they don't go to the grand jury. Anything else do. They go to the grand jury. So it doesn't mean that somebody's going to get arrested. We just have to wait and see. But even if the guys, if they didn't do anything, all they have to do is stay put until the grand jury finish. They know they ain't do nothing. Just stay put. You don't got to sit there and do interviews. You don't got to prove nothing to nobody. I wasn't there. We just have to wait and see. You don't have to deactivate your social medias because now it's going to make me feel like you hiding something. Hold on one second. But hey, man, we're going to see. But she's keeping it close to the vest right now, the DA. But the lawyer did say he's comparing notes with her, and they're going to sit down and have a meeting. She's going to give him what she has, and they're going to compare notes. That's a good sign. That means she's working it. That means she's working the case. If nothing happened, we'll find out. If nothing happened, we'll find out. That's what the family wanted. If nothing, if it was a fortunate accident, that's all they want to know. But they want their questions answered. That's all. Because you guys shouldn't have gave the interview because y'all kept saying that girl, that girl, that girl. I don't like how they were saying that. But anyway, man, other than that, I don't know what's going on. You said too many unresolved. It's not just here, not just Mississippi. There was 4 or 5 killings yesterday that I was looking at. 4 or 5, I think six killings as of yesterday, and 3 of them were street related. One of them was what do you call it? Stray bullet. The person hasn't gotten arrested yet, but they think they know where he is. And somebody went missing on the 95 corridor yesterday. They vanished. And I'm trying to tell people you don't have to keep vanishing out there. Let me just say this. If anybody is on the East Coast, you traveling 95 by yourself, especially if you're a female, when you stop, let's say if you stop at the Maryland house, when you stop there, you try to park closer to the door as you can. If you can't, if you come out, there's a car close to your car, you call the police. Just call them real quick. They'll come, and they usually nearby. They'll come because they'll know why you're calling, and they'll escort you to your car, just to let you know. All right. If you feel like you're being followed, call the police. Give them the make and model of the car that's following you, and give them the make and model of your car. It happens every day. And when you get into a Uber or Lyft, make sure the driver match up with the account, and make sure the license plate match up before you get in the car. That's it. And you should be straight. All right. So, but I don't know if I want to keep covering those cases because it's kind of like, oh man, I don't know, man. They kind of bring you down, you know. But it's somebody went missing yesterday. There was a young lady that went missing 4 years ago, and they just found her. She's safe and sound. I'm glad. So there's cases like you say you started watching me doing a Chris Unbiased. That case is still pending. That case is what you call how do they say it in legal terms? Dead docketed. But shout out to him. Um that's Georgia, by the way. Yeah, but some girl went missing yesterday. And there's another girl that was missing 4 years ago. They found her alive. Now, okay, yeah, I want to talk about that. Oh, Sheila, I thank you for that. Yeah, so there are people on both sides getting threatened right now. Okay. I don't agree with that because the threats you do have to take. You can't take that lightly when people threaten you. So both sides are getting threatened. So, they got to handle that the best they can. The family's getting threatened on both sides. Um, yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with people getting threatened because we don't know what happened. You said human trafficking, that's going on too, but I don't know why the girl went missing yesterday. I don't know if that's human trafficking. I know she was traveling. They found her car, and then she's nowhere to be found. But I do know at those rest stops down, I don't know why is it 95 for some reason. People going missing, but if somebody come up to you and want to hand you a pamphlet or something like that, just tell them to just roll your windows up. Roll your windows up because it might have something on it. Just roll your windows up. So it's stuff like that, man, just to watch out for. I'm not saying you're supposed to be, paranoid out here. No. You just gotta watch your back, that's all. 'Cause I travel up and down 95 all the time. And you know, there's at least 40 to 50 serial killers on the loose that they haven't caught yet. So, that's kind of creepy to think about. I think nationwide, it says like worldwide, it's like thousands. But for this case, man, this is, I don't know. The grand jury could be listening to the case now, for all I know. Because that's a secret. I don't know if y'all know that. The only people that's with the grand jury is the prosecutor, not even the judge. It's closed door. Only the prosecutor, not the defense attorney. Nobody. No other attorney is there but the prosecutor. That's it. And it's closed door. They listen to evidence and then they decide whether there's enough probable cause to go forward, enough evidence to go forward. And let's say if they say there's not enough evidence in this case, they don't have to disclose what they found. It's a secret forever. And they don't have to tell us. They said, look, there's no case. We're moving on. That's it. Unless the feds step in. But yeah, we just waiting to see what happened. That's it. So, but we know, I think we all can agree on this. Every 4th of July, somebody's drowning. We know that. But this case just don't seem like it is for me. It don't. It don't seem like it's one of those cases, like an unfortunate situation. You know why I say that? Because there was 3 boats. Somebody would have said, "Hey, where Nolan at? Where's Nolan? We don't see him." Somebody would have checked, like, "Yo, he ain't. Did he drown?" Like the police would have got called. But they're saying that he stayed back with her, and she's saying he didn't leave with her. And now all of a sudden she posting these pictures, and the pictures look a picture. What they say? A picture speaks 1,000 words. They write about that. She posting these pictures. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Look who. I ain't gonna say who boat she was on. Look, I put my hands up now because he's sitting up here suing people. I ain't gonna say who boat she was on now. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say who boat she was on because he's sitting up here suing people. Okay, that's the word on the street I heard. But I looked at that boat she was on. I said, "Oh, oh." I just put my hands up. I ain't say nothing. And he probably back at school and he getting ready for the season now. You know what I'm saying? But she put them photos out for a reason. Y'all can go on her social media and look at the photos if you want. I'm not posting them here. Okay. There was 3 boats that went out there that day. The good Warren say? 3 boats went out there. Didn't he say that? Who boat did he say he went out on? He went with his buddy who? All right then. And then he said Nolan went on the other boat. It was total of 3 boats, 20 people. Okay. And guess what? In that new photo that's circulating, the 3 boats are within the picture. Somebody's snitching. I'm just telling y'all this. How all of a sudden this photo get leaked now? Somebody telling. All 3 boats were there. All 3 boats. All 3 boats. So he was right. Warren was right. They did come on 3 boats. He's right about that. But now we see what the 3 boats look like. And homegirl, she said, "Y'all not gonna sit up here keep having my name in your mouth talking about that girl." Okay. She posted some photo. Go look at the photo she posted. Okay. Yeah. She was like, "All right, y'all want to sit up here and play me close?" Okay. She put out the photos. And what did her homegirl say? We ain't do nothing. Yeah. Somebody talking, man. I can't wait for this because somebody gonna open their mouth. You said about the barber guy, but it doesn't matter if that's true about the barber guy. What do you mean, Zoe? What about the barber guy? Oh, about him not really. No, the only thing about the barber guy is they say they don't really know him like that. And I know what that means. They know of him, but they're not really best friends with him like that. They're not close like that. That's what they meant. When I say I don't know somebody like that, that's what I mean. Like I know you, but yeah, we ain't we don't be over each other house on holidays, stuff like that. Okay, I'm not even gonna say her name, but you just type in her name on Facebook and you gonna find it. You gonna find it. Now I don't want to say that, Pam. I don't want to say that because these kids be listening. I don't want her coming after me because these kids be listening. And you know what? I have a feeling they listen to everything because you know how they are. Like they want to know, are you talking about me or not? They do. They be listening. And I want them kids coming after me because they already upset. They already upset, Pam. And, you know, yeah, what it means is though he knows them because he was at the funeral. He know them, but they're not close like that, you know. He making it seem like, I mean, he may have given Nolan his first haircut. He may have. But to be the authority figure and come out and speak on the case, no, he don't have no right speaking on the case. He don't know them like that. That's what they meant. And this family is not giving nobody nothing. They like, no, we don't know him. We don't know him. And that's okay. That's not a big deal. I'm not saying that he's lying. He probably did give him his first haircut. And he did give some useful information. He did say they gave up two names. So I'm not really gonna, he's okay. I thought the interview was kind of funny, him and Don, because Don, they started getting on each other. That was hilarious. Don shouldn't have said he was in a sunken place. He ain't have to, because that's going below the belt. He ain't have to say that. But Don was getting the attitude because, the guy, let me just say this. Everybody has a different perspective on the South. I lived in the South for 20 years. Did I have any problems? No, I did not. I did not have any problems. Some people might not feel like it's bad because they don't have any problems. People can only go by their perspective, right? So that I get. If he said we don't have a problem down there, that's okay. Because he don't have a problem down there. He's a barber. Barbers, they know everything going on in the town. So, whatever. I mean, he's going off of his perspective. I get it. Yeah, acquaintance, not a friend. Yeah, I know he drowned, but guess what? We didn't. I don't think we said. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, but when the wrestler Shad Gaspard drowned, we didn't say it was foul play. When Malcolm drowned, we didn't make no video saying it was foul play, even though somebody is doing that. Somebody's saying his wife did it. I'm not co-signing that. The paperwork party. This YouTuber called the paperwork party. He went down there when Malcolm drowned. He took a flight down and he said his wife had something to do with it. Like I said, I'm not getting on that. But when Shad drowned and Malcolm drowned, that's a drown. Look, guys, I was gonna go be a lifeguard. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't know how to swim out of a rip current, let me give you the picture. The best for me to illustrate how to swim out. You swim in a cross direction. That's how you get out of it. But a lot of people don't know that. My friend of mine, she recently went to Brazil, and this is what they had on. This is what they had on the Brazil. They had this on the beach in Rio, Copacabana, to show you how to get out of a rip current. You just swim in a cross direction, you'll get out of it. Because sometimes the rip current is only 20 feet, 20 as far as the width is concerned. It's about 20 feet, 30 feet, maybe a little bit more. But if you swim in a cross direction, it's going to still take you out a little bit. But once you get out of the cross, you can go back to the mainland. And see that wave will take you back to the sand. All you got to do is float on your back if you don't feel like if you're tired. And it's very easy to get out of that rip current. It takes a little bit, you know, but you'll get out of it. It's best to have a life vest on because if you have a life vest on, you're only going to float on your back if you can't get out of it. Eventually, you will get out of it, but you don't have to let the rip current take you all the way out. You can just swim across. But the problem is when it takes you under, sometimes it takes you under. That's why it's good to have a life vest on. And that's what happened to Malcolm Jamal Warner. It took him under. He didn't see it because sometimes you don't know if the rip current, you don't see it. And crazy part about it was his daughter got taken in the rip current as well. She survived it. And I believe Malcolm's daughter had a she had a life vest on. That's why she survived. It's kind of sad, right? His daughter went out with him, but his daughter had a life vest on, and she was able to. The lifeguard was able to go get her. Well, here's the thing about the lifeguard. He went to the 8-year-old first, which was good. He saved the child first. He got her first, and the other lifeguard tried to get Malcolm, and it was too late. He did get him. Actually, he did retrieve the body, but Malcolm, they couldn't revive him. So that's what happened. But I don't know if it was a lifeguard that saved Malcolm, though. I think it was somebody else. But they even teach you once the person is unconscious, they teach you what to do to get them to start removing the water. They show you how to do it. But I don't know, man. Malcolm, that was an unfortunate accident. It happens every day, man, in the ocean. So, and I would say that with this case, but this case just don't seem like that, So, but here's another thing about that island that's very dangerous. I don't even have to go on that island to see this. On certain parts of that island, it's neck deep water. You have to be careful, especially around 4 p.m., about 4:30. It's best for you to get out of there because then the rip currents, it'll pull you under and you don't even have time to scream. It just pull you right under. It's like the sand went from under your feet and pull you right under. And it usually happens around 4:30. There should be signs out there to tell you. You need to be careful at that point. Because if you look in the area where people are standing at, if you go like I'm talking about if you go beyond the boats, if you out there swimming, you could forget it. Especially around 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's dangerous. But you have to swim, yeah, swim parallel to the shore until you're out of the current. Yes, thank you. That's what I meant. But a lot of people don't know that. But now you do. Because if you swim parallel, you will eventually get out of the current. And how do you know? Because the water becomes calm. And then if you're tired, get on your back and float. And then a wave is going to come and it's going to move you closer to shore. And then you swim once you get your breath back. Then swim to the sand. And that's how you get out of it. Only reason why I know that is because I was going to do the lifeguard stuff. And the only reason why I quit is because we had a shark situation. And it was like maybe about 5 years ago in Virginia where the sharks are swimming closer to the shore. We had a shark problem about 5 years ago. And yours truly was not going to get in that water with sharks. It wasn't doing it. And they ain't had no type of jet ski, nothing. No, wasn't doing it. But usually the currents start getting more dangerous around 4:30. Anywhere, don't matter where you are. So if you do get pulled in a rip current, you just have to know how to get out of it. The ones that's the most dangerous is the ones that get you like a washing machine. Those are the most dangerous because now you're disoriented. You don't know how to get out of it, but you just have to swim, like they said, parallel to the shoreline, and you'll eventually get out of it. But the problem is, though, yeah, I quit that. I did. I quit on them. I just told them I wasn't going in. I said, "What you mean sharks out there?" They said sharks out there. And there was nobody allowed to go in the ocean, right? Except for this one dude went out there. He went with his what do you call it? Trying to catch a wave. He wanted to surf. And I looked at them. I said, "Who gonna go get him?" They said, "Well, with nobody." I said, "Well, the jellyfish is not a problem. Just that you don't want to step on them. Jellyfish usually not a problem. Sometimes you get stung. It depends. We just had the issue where the sharks was swimming closer to the shoreline than normal. Every now and then that happens. You'll have the sharks swim really close. You'll see it. But Jersey had a problem with that recently here in New Jersey. I don't know if you guys know this. You ever the movie Jaws? That was based on a true story that happened in the Jersey shoreline back in the 60s, I believe. You said his daughter gonna bring Malcolm back one day, Malcolm 2.0. Oh, when she has a child, you think so? He gonna reincarnate with her son? But it was unfortunate what happened to Malcolm. That's what it happens. If you notice the lifeguards that go out with that orange thing, that's a float device, so they can go get you. We both float back. They have a little float device that they put you on. But yeah, it's hard, bro. It's not good. It's not good. I just wish people just stay out of that water, especially after a certain time. So that's what the parents want. They want to know if that happened or not. That's what they're looking for. They don't know if anybody did it. They're looking to see if that's what happened to him. Because let me tell you this, if there's a lot of drunk people and a lot of music playing and this and that, you can get swept on and nobody know it. That's what they're searching for to see if that happened or not, or if somebody did it. That's what they want to know. And if they find out that that was the accident and that's what happened, then it's all good. Then they have this. That's the closure that they're gonna get. But that's the closure that they're looking for. Because if his lungs had heavy water in it, then they know this more than likely after a thorough investigation is going to come up as a drowning, and then they'll have some type of closure. But right now, we don't know what the prosecutor told them. Yeah, so they just looking for some closure to see if they can get it. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. If it's a couple of indicators to get to it, if he was heavy water in the lungs, um, they can say, okay, he drowned. He hit the water and he drowned. But if there was no water in the lungs, then they're gonna have to go further with their research to see if they can find out what happened. But I guarantee you, they at least know that, because remember, they know the details of the autopsy. We don't. So if he wasn't waterlogged, he didn't have much water in the lungs. That means he died before he hit the water. So, but we'll find out eventually, I guess. I don't know when. I don't know how they do go about it down there. You said you tickle their snout and it overloads their nervous system. They instantly stop and flip upside. You tickle their what? In school, you tickle. I wouldn't see. That's not the first thing I'd be thinking. Thank you for telling me. All I can do is tickle their snout. What if that don't work? Let me see. Let me see what you're saying, Joe. So that's all you got to do for a shark? I don't know. What if you can't get to their snout? You are out back. See, I don't do any of that stuff. Scuba diving, and I got a cousin that do all that stuff. She scuba dives. She jumps out of planes. Well, she was in the army. She was an airborne person. So jumping out of planes is second nature to her, because that's what she used to do in the army. And she was telling me the more and more you do it, you get used to it. It's like your body is muscle memory. Your body gets used to it. Like you're no longer afraid jumping out of planes. It's like your body adjusts. But she do all that stuff, bro. Um, she helps out with the class because that's what she did for almost 15 years, jumping out of planes. But she do it like it's nothing. It's craziness. But I can't do none of that stuff. Like get all the way in the ocean and all that. I can't do none of that bullshit. Because I'm thinking sharks. I'm thinking sirens. See, now I'm getting crazy on you. Sirens. Like, we don't even know if sirens really exist. But that's what I'm thinking. Did you know if somebody in here right now that lives in the Caribbean, watch this. Don't say nothing. Don't reveal yourself yet. If anybody here live in the Caribbean, watch this. I bet you nobody gonna say I'm lying. After a certain time, they tell you to get out of the beach. Yes or no? Am I right? You don't have to answer, but they after a certain time, they tell you to leave that beach alone because there's something in there. They come out at night, usually after midnight. They say get off the beach and don't try to get in the water, or you will never be seen again. My Caribbean people know. I ain't talking about sharks either. They tell you it's something in that water. In the Caribbean, they tell you don't mess with that water. And they even also tell you to leave the beach alone too. Don't even get on the beach. Now, what's in that water? I don't know. See, somebody I know somebody's going to say it. All my people from Bermuda know too, because I've been to Bermuda. I remember they told me just calm in a calm voice, don't mess with the beach at night. Okay, they tell you just like that. In fact, there are signs that will tell you. So wherever the hell is out in that water, respect it. You said the marine kingdom spirits are heavy in some places. Yeah, what's that lake? Where people be going missing at that lake. It's a man-made lake that was I forget the name of it. People go missing there all the time. I don't know why people yeah, Lake Lanier. I don't know why people keep messing with Lake Lanier, but people don't want to listen. But they tell you if you go to the Caribbean, don't mess with that beach at night. Don't do it. Now, that don't mean that something's gonna happen to you, but they tell you it's like a not folklore, but it's more than folklore to them because they actually believe it. Like, just don't go out there. And I said, well, what's gonna happen? Why can't we go out there? He said, he just looked at me and said, you just don't want to know, especially if you go to Puerto Rico. If you go to Puerto Rico, they definitely gonna tell you, don't go out there. And I'm the type of person I always have questions like, what's gonna happen? They said, I just said don't go out there. That's what they told me. And he said it though, don't go out there. He said, we don't know what's out there. You said Lake Lanier is over a flooded black town. It is, that is correct. And they said it's a cemetery under there too. There's also, Central Park in New York. That used to be a black town. Central Park, and then also in the Greenwich Village, Washington Square Park. That's actually there's dead bodies under there, even still to this day. A lot of New Yorkers don't even know it. So there's different places in New York. The city is like that too. You can ask any New Yorker around there, "Hey, is there dead bodies under this park?" They gonna like, "No, it is." It used to be a potter's field, a place where if you didn't have money, that's where they bury you. Now, Richmond, Virginia. If anybody ever been to Richmond, Virginia, in the city of Richmond, under the train area, there's a slave burial ground. Do not go there at night. Do not, because I lived in Richmond for over 20. Do not go there at night because you're gonna hear some shit. And just keep going. Put it that way. In Richmond, it's a lot of spirits around anyway, because so many people died there because of the Civil War. Yo, I got a video coming out. I don't know if I'm gonna put it out because a lady got freaked out about it. I recently did a video. I'm gonna drop it, but I recently did a video. I shouldn't have been in front of the people house recording, but you know how people are. Hey, what are you doing? What are you out here recording for? I said, well, I'm just doing a video on this lady that died around here. Her boyfriend killed her, and she was like, oh, where? And I ain't really want to tell her, right? And she was like, she was like bold. She was like had her head in my car. She's like, where? I said, in that house right there. She was like, sir, that's my house. I said, I know. She died right up in that house. That's what you get for coming to my car. Like, I really wasn't in front of her house, but how people walk their dog, want to know what you're doing in the neighborhood. I said she got killed right in that house. And she was like, sir, that's my house. I said, yeah, he killed her in that house. I said, they didn't tell you that when you bought the house? She said, no. I said, they usually don't tell you that. So she got all freaked out about it. She said, where did they find her? I said, they found her right there in the living room. And you could tell by the look, her face got pale white. She was scared. She shouldn't have been questioning me. That's what she get. But yeah, she died. I did a story on it. And the house has since been sold. And it's a nice house. But she's like, I never heard anybody dying over here. I said, yeah, she died right in that house. And I was doing a video. I said, I ain't gonna put the video. I might not put it out, but the way she was sounding that night, she gonna sell that house. That's what she told me. She said, I'm not staying. I'm not gonna continue to stay in. Somebody died in it. But she said she hears stuff at night. I told her it's just an old house. You hear creaks. That's all it is. Ain't no spirits. You said many cities destroy black communities and towns. Well, that's what happened. Well, in Richmond, you're not gonna know where it's at until you see the sign. There's a sign there that tell you. It says under this sign, it used to be a gas station there, but under this sign is a burial ground. It says it. So there's like a marker there. If it wasn't a marker there, you wouldn't know because I don't see no headstones. It's just been completely like um they completely buried it. But yeah, it's a lot of history in this country though. All history is not good history, but it's still history though. Just like the whole Emmett Till case, that came up recently because it happened out there in Money, Mississippi. And what's interesting about Emmett Till is, they have obviously when the guys were found not guilty, it's something called double jeopardy. So you can't, once they've been found not guilty, you can't try them again. You know what they did? Afterwards, they had an interview with a magazine detailing how they killed them. Ain't that crazy? So basically, what the jury did was they did jury nullification. Even though they know they were guilty, they nullified it. It's perfectly legal to do to practice jury nullification, meaning that they're guilty, but you're going to say they're not guilty just because you don't agree that the possible sentence is just. You believe that they had a just reason. But they interview with a magazine and they detail how they kill Emmett Till. And when you go read it, they tortured him. They pulled his teeth out with pliers. They pulled his fingernails out. They did something to his bottom region and put it in his mouth. All types of stuff, man. They gouged one of his eyes out and then they threw him in the Tallahatchie River. They said it. I couldn't believe they admitted to it. See, because let me tell you why. This is what they don't realize. They have to pay for that in the spirit realm too. What you get away with here, you don't get away with in the spirit realm. So they paying for that in the spirit realm, or they'll pay for it in another lifetime. That stuff sticks to your soul. It's almost like how whatever you do online is logged. That's how it is with your spirit. Everything is being recorded, and you pay for that in the spirit realm. They gonna pay for that, or whoever their generations are now. Eventually, gonna pay for that. Somebody has to pay for that. And here's the thing. I started studying that case. You know what I found out? So Emmett Till used to stutter. I used to stutter too. And his mother taught him a technique how he used to do a whistling sound to calm himself down so he can talk to you. That's what he may have been doing. So she said that he whistled at her. He may have, but he was stuttering and it was a technique that he learned to get his words out. So he did a whistling sound to get his words out, but he was not whistling at her, and that's why she never recanted that story. He really did probably whistle at her, but she thought he was being fresh and he wasn't. But she still has to pay for that on the spirit realm. She has to pay for that. Okay. And it's not up to me for her judgment because we're all going to get judged. That's not for me to decide. Okay. That's not for me. But this is what there's oral history that was passed down. All our family have oral history. It's some certain things are passed down. And I remember my aunt was telling me there's certain spirit things that you can't do in this world because we all been given free will. She said there's certain people, if you violate them or you harm them physically in any kind of way, you're going to pay for that. Just like whoever did this to, if something happened to this young brother, they're going to pay on the spirit realm. Somebody's going to get an unfortunate news. They're going to get stricken with an illness. It's not even going to be happening, but it could happen to their parents. It could happen to somebody in their family. They're going to get unfortunate news. Something's going to happen. If you harm somebody, it's one thing to be talking about them. I'm talking about physically harm them. There's certain people you can't do that to. There's certain people that just really good people in this lifetime. They don't mean no harm to nobody. That's what I meant. There's certain people that just really, because we know we all have the potential to harm somebody, but there's certain people that's born that don't have that potential. They're harmless. These are who God sent on assignment. We're all sent on assignment, but some people got special assignments. You don't harm them. If you do, you'll be taken care of. And that's what was taught to me in the spirit realm. See, because they think people die when they die. They don't. They don't die. They'll come back, but they don't die. You can't kill energy. We learned that in science class. But the Emmett Till story, and you know what's crazy about it with the barber? He mentioned Emmett Till. I couldn't believe he did that. And not only did he mention him, he said, "But that don't happen no more." Yeah, but the Emmett Till story, they detail how they killed him in the interview because they knew that they couldn't get convicted anymore because it was double jeopardy. That's something you just don't talk about, bro. Like that kid lived through his pain. He lived through it. And then eventually they shot him, and I think they shot him in the head or something and put him in the river. And they also killed, I believe, Medgar Evers died out there too, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was in Mississippi. And what's interesting about Medgar Evers is when they exhumed his body was intact. They call it the ghost of Medgar Evers. His body was intact as if he had just got buried. That was crazy. And then the person got convicted. But Emmett Till killers, they even the jury know that they did it, but they nullified the verdict and they got off. That's something that their family gonna pay for. Even the family that's living now, they have to bear that burden, even though they didn't do it. But let me tell you this though, some of the officials that were officiating back then, that were in charge, they're related to some of these boys in this case. Go look. Some of them have a relation to them. That's the crazy part. Is one in particular, his great great uncle or something like that was officiated, was a head official back then. Now, for me personally, if I was Emmett Till's uncle, you would have had to kill me that night. You're not gonna take my nephew like that. You would have had to kill me. But obviously that didn't happen. So a lot of people blame him too. Um, because he should explain to them, like, look, he whistles because he stutters, but they didn't want to hear that. And in fact, he was a child. They did that too. This is like that evil is in your DNA. You know how they say we got certain fears that's in our DNA? It's in theirs too. I mean, you looking at the South, they put a 14-year-old to death. They electrocuted a 14-year-old. His name was George Stenny. And he didn't even do it. In fact, he was so small they had to stack books up so his head can reach the electricity. And one of the people that put him on there almost passed out because he couldn't do it. They had to get somebody else to pull the lever. He couldn't do it because he all he saw was a baby. That's what he said afterwards. He all he saw was his son. He couldn't do it. It's crazy. But this situation here is deep too, man. It's just they still have that tension down there. And just like the barber said, he said something. He said something he didn't realize he was saying it. He said, down there, we try our best not to ruffle each other's feathers. He said, white people try their best not to ruffle our feathers, and we try our best not to ruffle. Why you have to try your best though? That means there's still a problem. You shouldn't have to talk like that. What do you mean you try your best not to ruffle each other's feathers? Why? You're human beings. Just live your life. You don't have to worry about anybody. But when he said that, that's how you know it's still a problem. All you got to do is let people talk. They'll tell you. Just let them talk. So obviously, there's still a problem there. And of course, there's still a problem. You know why? Because there was never no repercussions for what happened back in the day. Nobody's ever paid for it. That's why. That's why it's still a problem because they got away with it. And think about this situation. If something happened to this kid, obviously people going to use their connections to try to get away with it. But hopefully, you know, um, something will happen if something was happened to this kid. I think something happened because that audio. Here's the thing: they never expected that audio to get out. So here's my theory on this: the CETO people, they're the ones that released it. Mississippi released it. That means that because everybody is not happy about your privilege, and they might have the same skin color as you. Everybody's not happy because everybody don't like Trump, do they? Everybody don't. And some people share his same skin color, still don't like him. So everybody don't like your privilege. They leaked that for a reason. That was leaked. That wasn't supposed to get out to the media. But whoever leaked it, they meant to leak it because they want us to hear it so that these people won't get away with it. That's what I think happened. Everybody that share your skin color don't think like you. And they don't like that you're privileged because they're not. Everybody that's white is not privileged. And you have some good ones out here. I'm like, man, we're not letting you get away with this bullshit. So whoever leaked it, they leaked it to the media. And the media ran with it because when the Associated Press got the recording, they leaked it. And then Reuters, they leaked it. Then Al Jazeera leaked it. So when Al Jazeera leaked it, it's international now. So what did the lawyer say? He said, "Well, we don't believe that because the recording was manipulated." He is correct. The audio was manipulated when the person said that she tweaked it so we can hear the background. Yes, it was manipulated, but we're talking about the original audio. The original audio was not manipulated. He can't fight that. You now go look at the lawyer again and look how his face looked. He looked stressed. Go look. There's a problem. He looks stressed. I would be stressed too. Because if they really did have pull, that audio wasn't supposed to get leaked. Somebody leaked it. Hey man, everybody's not part of the good old boy system. Somebody was like, F you, I'm leaking it. Because what did the operator say? How many people living on the boat? She heard something. She heard something. We'll see her at trial. If there's a trial, we're gonna see her. She said, how many people breathing and living on the boat? She heard something. And then the thing is, we heard stuff because they thought that they were on hold because they were listening to the elevator music, so he didn't mute it. But we heard it then. We heard some stuff. Is he dead? That's what I heard. Is he dead? Oh my God, Nolan. Nolan, oh my God. That's what I heard. She didn't say Roland, she said Nolan. But then he said, "Oh no, that audio was manipulated." Of course it was because the sound engineer, said that she manipulated so we can hear the background. That's what he's talking about. No, no, sir. I'm talking about the audio that the Associated Press leaked in the Mississippi, the state of Mississippi leaked. That was not manipulated. Okay, so if you're saying that's manipulated, why would your own kind try to manipulate to get your own kind arrested down there? That's not. It's usually how it don't work that way. They leaked it because they wanted to leak it. That's why. Because everybody is not down with the program. Yes, we're in the age of Aquarius. They not letting it get some good people. They not letting that happen. Like, no, you're not getting away with this bullshit. And they leaked it. That was never supposed to get out, guys. Never. Because see, if that audio hadn't got out, we would have just had to chalk it up to an unfortunate accident. Uh-uh. That audio is what you hear right there. And I looped it. I kept hearing it. Then I kept hearing, oh my God. What does it say? Like, I heard his name. Now, I'm not saying he did nothing because remember, he said he was there to tow. The story was he said he wasn't there. He never said that. He never said he wasn't there. To his lawyer, he said that he was there to tow. So maybe that was his job because it was 3 boats, remember? He may not have nothing to do with it. But was he there though? That's what I want to know. Because if he was there, he need to start talking on what happened. Yeah, she heard it. That's why she was, and then he got an attitude with her, saying what? You the one called her. What you mean, what? But he was obviously occupied with whatever was going on in the background. And then I heard, can we cover it up? That's what I heard too. And people are quick to say, oh no, that's what your ears are hearing. Shut up, you're a robot. I'm not, that's not working with me. That wasn't never supposed to get out. I know they mad about that, yo, whoever leaked it. That was never supposed to get out. Right, they separate. That's why he's saying it's been manipulated. He's correct about that. It was manipulated when they separate the audio. But you could still hear it in the original audio. You could still hear it. Is he dead? You can still hear it. Is he dead? Oh my God, Nolan. But she said, is he dead? Damn it, Bart. That's what I heard. I didn't say damn, it didn't say damn it, Art. It said Bart, not Art. Bart. Damn it, Bart. It's crazy, man. Because he got to, getting ready for the season and all that. I know he back at camp. It's crazy. I know people looking at him sideways. Craziness. He may not have nothing to do with it. You feel me? So if I was him, I'd start talking. Like, y'all not gonna sit out here and I got a season to get prepared. Fuck that. You said the police calls were publicly released. I know, but they weren't supposed to get released if this the good old boy system. You understand what I'm saying? Why would you try to get your own locked up like that? Because if I was in the good old boy system, I wouldn't have released that. I would have deleted it. So yes, the forensic investigator is going to do the same. Listen, if the forensic investigator for the state do it, they in trouble. Somebody in trouble, yo. Because the forensic people like, look, this is what it is. Somebody in trouble. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't there. I don't know who did what. But this case is what's interesting, what would capturing everybody attention. Some of us are into true crime. I'm in the true crime community. In the true crime community, we is separated. We have people that just want to know the answers. We got some troublemakers in that community as well, as y'all know already. Y'all know who the troublemakers are. The ones that's making up stuff. Okay. I'm not a part of that. You got some that's just straight up make that's who they going after right now. They're going after the people that's making up straight bold faced lies. Like I don't like if I tell you right now, let me give you an example. This happened because this the girl he liked, right? It happened because he got in a jealous rage. That's making stuff up. You know why? Because I wasn't there. How would I know that? That's who he's going after. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? He has a lot to lose here. He's number 15 in the country. He ain't no regular football player. He's ranked in his position. He's ranked. And after this year, he could go higher in the rankings. He was a JUCO All American, right? He was a JUCO All American. He's ranked in the nation out of all Division One programs, even the SEC. He is in the top 15. Okay. What you think he gonna be this year after the season is over? He probably gonna be in the top five, maybe the top three, which means that he could get drafted. So yeah, there's a lot on the line here. So you can't just make stuff up on the kid. Well, you can't make stuff up on nobody. But it'll be bad for me, and I'm not responsible for me to sit up here and say that's what happened, and I wasn't there because the kid could be totally innocent. So it ain't up to me; it's up to the investigators to do the process of elimination. And what did the investigators recently say about the Nancy Guthrie case? You know, Savannah Guthrie, mother missing. What did Sheriff Nano say? He hasn't ruled out anybody. Everybody's a suspect, even the family. He said nobody has been eliminated. Everybody's a suspect. And that's what I had said. People got on me about it. They said, "What you mean the family is suspect?" I said, "Everybody's a suspect until they eliminate them." Yep. And he came out and said, I'm glad he said it because people were getting on me when I said it. Yeah, they are suspect until they eliminate everybody. But I wouldn't come out and say and make a story up on that kid. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, his lawyer has a right to come after me. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I can't just make shit up. That's what they doing. They did that in the Diddy case. They're the same people that was on the Diddy case made shit up. And it was the same people in the Carmelo Anthony case. They made, and look, they're over here now making stuff up. I knew they were going to get in trouble over here. I knew it. I was like, it's a matter of time. Here, watch. And here they come. This one lady claims she talked to a psychic. Guys, I cannot make this up. I'm not going to give you the psychic's name because you ain't going to have that woman coming after me because she be putting roots on people. So you ain't going to don't tell her I said it. But look, she was like, she did a deep dive into the consciousness. She said not only did she go into the consciousness of the decedent, she went into the consciousness of the guys too. She did some root work and she did some remote work. She said she knew what happened. She said it was over a girl. And when I tell you, bro, she's bro, I'm like, no way she said this bullshit. She said he didn't drown. She said they hung him. That's what she said. I'm like, how the fuck did she know this? Okay. Her cards told her, okay. I said, bro, if people believe that, let me go get some cards. Let me order some cards off Amazon, right? And tell you some stuff. Maybe I can come up with now. Don't get me wrong, there's some people that's legit out there. So I don't want nobody coming after me. But I just I'm a little reluctant. I don't like believing that stuff. I'm just being real with you. Just like the lady, I forget her name. She used the she used the with the prongs. Like she'll ask the spirit certain things, and if the prongs turn in, that means a yes. If the prongs turn out, that means a no. She was like, "How about the food and stuff?" The prongs kept saying, "Yeah, we having a food problem and stuff." I said, "I ain't got no problem." And then the people in the chat was like, "Why you ain't have no problem?" I said, "Because I played outside in the '80s. I was exposed to all types of shit." I said, "My system is immune to a lot of stuff because we played outside and we drunk that faucet water in the damn park. Anybody that drunk that faucet water in the park, you got an immunity to a whole bunch of stuff." Okay. I ain't got to worry about Taco Bell because I used to eat White Castle back in the day. That gave you all type of parasites. Because you eat that White Castle hamburger, we call them murder burgers. Okay. So if you survive that, you ain't got to worry about this food stuff. I'm just telling. No, I ain't telling you the lady name. Don't sit up here and get me the line and talk about who the lady is. I'm not telling you because you're not gonna have that lady coming after me, putting roots on me and stuff. Nope. I believe in that stuff. You ain't gonna put no root because then I had to do my prayer work. I know how to pray my way out of it though. If somebody do that to me, I know what to do. I know how to pray my way out of it. But listen, I dated somebody from New Orleans, and she, you know what she came up to me? She came up to me crying. She said, "I broke the spell off you. I'm so sorry. I respect you. I apologize." I said, "What did you do to me?" She said, I said, "You ain't do the pepper, did she? You ain't do the pepper, did you?" She said, "You know about the pepper?" I said, "Yes, I do." Bruh. But she got it off me though. I ain't gonna tell you for my Caribbean folks. Don't I ain't giving y'all ladies, I ain't giving the secrets away. I know about the pepper though. Just let you know. I know, look, I know somebody gonna be laughing. I know about the pepper. Don't say nothing with the pepper is I ain't gonna say nothing. Okay. I know about it. Okay. And she gave me some tips on how to pray myself out of it. Just in case somebody try to put a root on me. I know how to pray myself out of it now. I can do a whole video on it and show you how to pray yourself out of it. But I don't want to do that because I don't want them after me. Just letting you know, man, I lived a little bit. Yeah, I sure did. Sure did. They put them roots on you. It's hard. It's hard. You ever been you ever had a situation where you just can't get over the person? Like, what the fuck? They might have put something on you. Women putting roots on people out here now. It's hard out here. Hard. It's hard out here now. Okay. So, ladies, don't come after me. I'm not gonna give away your secrets. I'm not gonna do it. So don't start coming after me now. But y'all know y'all doing that. See, I know the guys like Max, really? Yeah. Yeah, you better be careful. You better be careful eating her spaghetti. That's all I'm telling you. You better be careful. You better be careful eating her spaghetti. Next thing you know, they don't bury your drawers in the backyard. Be careful. I don't know how we got to this subject matter because I be talking about all types of stuff. That's how my mind is set up. But I'm just telling the young guys, better respect these women out here and don't play with nobody heartstrings. Don't do it, guys. Listen to me, young men. Always be honest. If you the type of man where you can't settle down, tell her. And you always want to give the woman an option. Tell her you ain't shit. Okay? Because then that way she can make a decision. Like, okay, you like a lot of women. At least you can respect her. Because see, what that tell the woman is you respect her enough to be honest. Okay. Don't sit up here and play with her heartstrings and in bed talking about how you loving it from here to Friday. Knowing that you got other women, don't do it. Don't do it. And don't eat her spaghetti. I'm just telling you. Don't do it. There's some serious business here. Don't play with nobody heartstrings. because I don't follow the case already with what's her name, what she did to her ex-boyfriend. It was crazy. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially with the women down there, down south in Mississippi and all that. Mississippi and New Orleans and excuse me, Nolans and Mississippi and Natchez, Mississippi. Yeah, what you think? I know y'all like what you know about Natchez, Mississippi. Don't worry about it. I ain't never said I ain't never been to Mississippi. Never said that. And I ain't gonna tell you what I know about Natchez, Mississippi. I used to date somebody from there. And she told me some stuff. God, she told me, she sat me down. She's an older woman. She's older than me, 20 years, almost 20, 30 years older than me. She sat there and told me the game. I was in my 20s at the time. She said, I'm going to tell you what I know. She said, be careful you dealing with these women down here because they know some shit. Okay. And I ain't going to tell you everything because I have to, if you hit me up on the back end and I'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? I'll put something together for you to give to your sons. I put together some document, write some stuff to tell you. But I can't say this on video because I don't want to get targeted. But it's some black magic, it's some stuff out here now. It is, that you got to be careful about. And I felt like I don't talk too much now. So, but just look, the rule of this thing is just respect everybody out here. That's it. Just have respect and you'll be okay. That's it. Respect go a long way. Don't play at nobody's heartstrings though. Don't do it. I know you remember that case, right? I know, Ryan. You was here for all the cases. We remember. It's crazy out here, bro. There's some stuff out here you don't think exists. It exists. Right. The Commonwealth versus Michelle Carter. That was in Massachusetts. I believe that case we followed was out of Massachusetts. And there was another case we followed. Remember the case in Florida where the guy killed his wife and the kids, they couldn't find the bodies? Guys, he got convicted. They couldn't even find the bodies because he fed them to alligators. We followed that case. We followed a lot of crazy cases. For some reason, Florida got the craziest cases for some reason. But you see how Michelle Carter, you see how her eyebrows were? I don't mess with nobody got eyebrows like that. If your eyebrows look like the Bert and Ernie eyebrows, I don't mess with you. Don't mess with nobody got Bert and Ernie eyebrows. And I know what people thinking, you trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny. Okay? I don't been there, done that. There's something wrong with their mental if their eyebrows look like Bert and Ernie. I'm just this see, I'm like the uncle you never had. This shit you need to tell your this is shit. I know y'all gonna like this is shit you need to tell your sons now. Now I know what you're trying to say, like Max, what that mean is something with her mental for her eyebrows to be looking like Bert and Ernie. You ever seen somebody eyebrows where they look angry? Don't mess with nobody like that. That's a sign. Ain't no reason why her eyebrows got to be that damn thick to be looking like she angry. That's a sign. That's a sign that something ain't right upstairs. And you need to tell your sons that. Look, I tell my nephews think I'm crazy. They said, bro, you crazy, man. But look, everything I'm telling them be coming true though. I told them because they told me, hey, Unc, man, we about to go to Thailand, this and that. I said, y'all come over to my house and let me sit down with you and tell you. They said, bro, Unc, you been there? Yeah. And they said, man, you bullshit. I said, let me tell you now, I'm going to tell you what to look out for and different things you need to do. Did you know they came back and told me everything was correct? Everything. Because I told them at nothing new under the sun. Just because y'all discovering what to do, like we don't done that already. And everything I told them was true. I said, when they told me, they said, yeah, we about to go here, we this and that. I said, y'all come over here and let me sit you down and talk to y'all real quick. I said, what y'all going over there for? They said, oh yeah, we just gonna go. Y'all ain't going over there for the culture. Okay. I ain't gonna tell your mother. She's like, yeah, don't tell my, I ain't gonna tell your mother nothing. Let me talk to you. Okay. Y'all need to do this, and that. And watch out for this and that. And they told me everything I said was correct. Watch out for them eyebrows. I'm telling y'all, something ain't right upstairs when they be doing their eyebrows like that. Something ain't right. Walking Street, well, not just Walking Street, Ryan. The 6. Yep. You can be in. You ever heard about somebody being in a sunken place? You can be in one out there. They'll put something in your drink to have you in a sunken place. Take all your money. That's what I told them. Be careful. If you gotta use the bathroom, take your beer with you. And if she over 6 feet tall, looking like Manny Pacquiao with a wig on, it's a man. And when I told them that, they almost choked because we was out at Fridays having something to eat. They almost choked eating, and I wasn't laughing. I said, "What's so funny?" They said, "Bro, what are you talking?" I said, "Yo, if they look like Manny Pacquiao over 6 feet with a wig on, it's a man. I'm just telling you. All right. So you don't want to get caught up." I said, because you get caught up and don't know it's a man, that man gonna be liable to cut you because they get the cutting out there. And he said, "Unc, you crazy? What the fuck?" I said, but I wasn't laughing though when I said it. I said, you don't want to get cut out there. They'll get the cutting you. Okay. And sure enough, they went out there and what I said was true. If they over 6 feet, looking like something off a runway, it might be a man. I said, so you got to be careful because if you up in their face, they gonna want some money. So this is stuff, man. You got to sit them kids down and have the birds and the bees with them now. You got to tell them. You got to tell you got to tell young people everything that you know for them to survive. And because in some stuff you might not know, but it's our obligation to teach them. It's our obligation. You said I got to start selling my mojo bag. I ain't got no mojo bags. I do sell it. I got a page giving game on this stuff. I got another YouTube page, but I don't mix that over here. And the only reason why I made that page is so because they were getting ready to go over there. And they encouraged me to make videos giving people game on it because young people don't know. They don't know. You out there thinking you talking to a supermodel and you talking to somebody named Thad. That's right. He's born Thaddeus. You talking to a whole Thaddeus over there and don't even know it. And then when you find out, it's too late because they're going to want their money. And if you don't give them their money, you about to get cut. You're going to get cut. Okay. So you don't want to have to sit up there because they still a man. You don't want to sit up there and fight somebody. They strong as hell and they got a knife wanting their money. So you got to avoid certain stuff. I didn't say they were going over there for that, but I had to sit them down. Yep. I told them if you're thinking about going to Colombia, don't do it. People dying left and right over there right now, going missing and everything. Yeah, you need to tell them the birds and the bees, the caterpillars and the fleas. That's right, Joe. Now, of course, they think, Unc, you crazy, this and that, but they listen to me, though. I bet you they do. I bet you they do, man. Better bring your raincoat before you get rained on. That's what I told them. Bring your raincoat before you get rained on, man, because it can happen to you. But anyway, I'm out of here. I'll be back a little bit later when my co-host is off work. I got some co-hosts later for y'all. I got my co-host coming up here later, so y'all can get a different perspective. But I'll be back later. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll be back later, guys. Peace.